Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. The Doctor is referred to as an insect who's grey-haired, and the best superpower is being scared. Hello everyone, welcome to Still Got Legs, the only Doctor Who Rewatch podcast in the world. There are no others that exist because they're all in fact hiding under your bed. No. My name is Nathan, and as always I'm joined by my wonderful companion as we go on this fantastic journey through time and space and rewatch all of Doctor Who. Alonzi Geronimo. Hello, Lawrence.
Is this a new thing you're doing, the Alonzi Geronimo thing?
Well, no, considering I have done it before.
Yeah, but as in, like, it's been now becoming a recurring thing.
Maybe it is.
I'm not disputing it. I like it. I think it's fun.
I hate your intros. I genuinely, nothing kills my mood more than one of your intros.
You need to find peace, brother. You cannot get over this, and that is, I think, a you problem.
I think it might be a me problem because I just. We actually spoke about this today on the phone, but there's nothing to them. There's just no substance whatsoever. It's just
where's the lack of substance? I think that's stuff that happens in the episode.
Yes, but that's it though. But that's all it is. You're just listing things that happen and putting them together because they rhyme. It's just empty. All right, there's nothing to it. And look, I'm not even saying mine are the greatest fucking written things in the world. All right, that's not what I'm saying at all. There's something about your intros which they just kill my mood entirely. All right.
What would be better though? Like
I seem to be alone on that because anytime I say this, a million fucking voices chirp up out of nowhere and be like, "No, I love Lawrence's intros. Actually, we love the rhymes. We have bad taste and we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, and we love the rhymes."
You can't shout at all of them. They can like what they like. This is a show for
like
them.
What they like. All right. But look. I don't like it.
How are you? What have you been up to?
You're having a baby.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, big week for me.
Yeah. You want to go over all that?
Yeah. In case you missed it or you don't listen to our other podcast, AHP, then I guess if you don't listen to it, it won't really affect you that much. But AHP's coming to an end. We're putting our last episode out 28th of Feb, and it's ending because I am having a baby and therefore won't have the time to upkeep it and carry on co-hosting it. Yeah, having a baby. Pretty cool. Sometime in April.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's cool for me.
I'd rather you than me, but yeah.
What, as in have a baby?
Yeah, but I don't want a baby. It seems like way too much work.
It does seem like a lot of work, I'll be honest, yeah.
Yeah. You got to raise a baby.
Yeah, that's not...
Like, imagine if you fuck up.
What, they could kill someone or something?
Yeah, exactly. They could kill someone.
Yeah, but then they'll face the consequences for that, not me.
All right, well, that is just... Come on.
I'm not planning on raising a murderer.
That is just nothing to do with me, says the parent who barely touched it and raised the child at all.
Bottom line is my child's not going to be a murderer, is what it means.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, no, I don't know that, but I hope not. Nathan, what are we talking about this week?
Lawrence, this week we are talking about Listen, not Beyonce's song. It is in fact an episode of Doctor Who, episode 107 to be exact, of Doctor Who and Still Got Legs. It is written by Stephen Moffat, directed by Douglas McKinnon, season 8, episode 4, Listen.
What do you think about it?
I think you should cut all of my meltdown out of the podcast a little earlier, all right?
All right,
you can keep this bit in. You can keep this bit in, alluding to the fact that there was a meltdown, but you can cut all of that out. Anyway,
there's a secret meltdown.
What do you think of this episode? Stop talking over me. You do that way too much.
I like this. I think this is a good episode. I really like what it's going for. I think it's like a good inclusion of like old school classic fear stuff. Like the horror's executed really well. It's not like a terrifying episode, but it's creepy and it's chilling, and it does capture that fear of the unknown. I think Clara and 12 are really good in it. I like that the Doctor essentially spends the episode just going on an obsessive tirade and not really knowing when to pack it in. The only thing I'd say is the Danny Pink stuff is a bit boring, and I find it a bit of like a a weird. I feel like they're setting him up to be a character, and they had to put him in the episode. And I don't know if he like narratively fits all that well. That's the only stuff that I would say about it. But I don't know. I liked it overall. I thought it was a good episode.
See, my natural response to that is to say something that keeps getting me in trouble. Okay, so
Right.
I'm not gonna say that. Okay,
Okay.
but you should.
As Nine once said.
No, I didn't say that. Okay. Let me be clear, I never said that. I think this is a great episode. I think it's honestly one of my favorite episodes of Doctor Who. One that when we started this podcast, this is one of the ones that I was really looking forward to getting to and talking about, because I think there's just so much to it narratively. It's such a interesting concept and such a fascinating execution. And really, really, it's such an episode that's kind of like out of left field and is a little bit different, but it just leaves you feeling so, I know, exhilarated and really fucking interesting after you've watched it. It's such a exciting and fascinating episode. And I think I don't think I've ever heard a more wrong sentence than Danny Pink doesn't fit naturally into this episode, or narratively, because yes, he does.
I mean, the fact that he's present in the narrative, I get. I don't know. It's the stuff that it feels out of place. It feels like, I don't know. There's not.
Why does it feel out of place?
I don't even know necessarily how to describe it, right? Because this is one that I would probably say, like, would benefit with a bit of time to go over it and mull over it a little bit more. But like,
you didn't like it?
No. I really like the episode. The Danny stuff is what I'm talking about. Like the episode as a whole and what it's going for, I think is really fucking cool. Yeah, it's just the Danny stuff. I don't know. It feels like Danny's kind of like shoehorned is the wrong word, but it doesn't feel like he's got as much relevance to the plot here as other characters do, as like Clara and the Doctor. Like this is such a centric Clara and the Doctor story, and then you've got Danny but not Danny just kind of kicking about and being like, yeah, for a lot of the episode. And like that's downplaying it. I know he has stuff to contribute, but it's not all that relevant, I don't think.
It's not all that relevant.
I don't think, no, but like...
Where do they go in the first act of the episode?
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing that he's present for the narrative.
I think he's present all the way throughout the entire episode. Not necessarily in the physical sense, but in terms of the story.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll get into it and we'll have a little look. So there's a great opening shot to the start of the episode. A great shot, the TARDIS door. It's open. We get to see the console, but the TARDIS the camera keeps panning up. And we see that, in fact... the 12th Doctor is sat on top of the TARDIS. Very, very cool that he's just like meditating out there. This is just something that he goes and does when like no one else is like traveling with him. Quite fun.
He says, listen.
Yes, he shouts, well, he doesn't shout it. He says, listen, down the lens, and then he starts monologuing in the TARDIS about how we're not really alone when we think we are. And all of this stuff is you can see that he's obviously gone off like conspiracy land deep end. Like he's obviously, been going about the TARDIS just prattling on to himself for a while, and it's taken over his kind of every waking thought, which I think is quite cool.
I quite like this a lot. It's like, I've always thought of 12 as the Professor Doctor, okay? Yeah. And that's why I always get so angry whenever you call 11 the Professor Doctor, because it's just not the case or the vibe at all right?
Yeah.
But I think 12 and Peter Capaldi really embodies that vibe, but then like he's like literally giving a fucking lecture in the opening of this episode. This is literally him giving us a lecture. He's talking to himself, but he's delivering it to us. And I just enjoy the delivery of this. You know, he's scribbling on the chalkboard. He's asking questions to the class and everything like this while he's monologuing. And he's going about his studies and actually trying to figure stuff out, like we see him in the African savannah underwater, trying to piece all this together and stuff, trying to learn and stuff. I don't know, it's really interesting. I really like it.
It is cool to see him like go about and like not just kind of like it's someone with such a quizzical mind like the Doctor. It's cool to see that he's got the ability to go to these places and actually observe it. Like I wrote down as a joke that he's doing like David Attenborough stuff, but he is, and it's cool that he can just like go there, check it out. Then he's underwater. Like that's a cool thing we've never really seen the TARDIS do. He's just got the door open, like at the depths of the ocean.
Have we not seen that?
I don't think so. I maybe I'm missing it. Like the TARDIS has been underwater before, but I don't think we've ever seen like door open and the Doctor just having a little look out.
Maybe not. It can definitely do that, but
well, it's got that like a field around it or something, isn't it? Like a protective thing that would stop the water getting in, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like the little transition or the little fish?
What was the transition?
They did like from like the safari setting that the Doctor's looking at. There's like a load of random little like quite obviously like CGI fish that like swim past the camera and transition it to the sceneries in the ocean. And it doesn't. They don't try and sell it as looking real. So it's just a fun little transition that they do. I quite enjoyed it.
I can't really say I took notice of it, to be honest.
Oh, it's fun. It's a nice little transition with the fish. I do know what you mean. On your point about him being the kind of like the lecturer and kind of asking questions to the class and stuff, it's worth mentioning as well that I've another little nook and another little detail about his TARDIS that I really fucking enjoy is like all the books just stacked up on the staircase. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it does. This is why this particular version of the TARDIS is just the best. It's just they use the space well. They decorate it and make it more homely and more like a place where the Doctor actually works and lives and stuff. And it's just great. I love it so much.
That's something I am realizing.
Better than that piece of shit you like.
Fucks. No, leave it alone.
I never will.
It is nice to see that like the TARDIS set is pretty in itself, but then you set dress on top of the TARDIS setting, which I feel like we haven't seen all that much. Like, we've had good TARDIS designs, but then you build on it by doing like personality, like Doctor's personality traits, like the books and like the chalkboard and stuff.
Which your favorite TARDIS had none of. It
had that nice wardrobe.
It didn't. There was no personality to that TARDIS whatsoever.
I think there was personality to the design, but I'm giving it props. I'm complimenting your favorite TARDIS, and you still can't let me do it.
There was no personality to it.
All right, fine. You won't hear what I have to say that's nice about 12's TARDIS. We'll move on. The whole speech he has here about like evolution has created like the perfect hunters. Why would it not create the perfect hiders? Like something that this idea that a concept that you can't sense, see, or feel.
Well, maybe it has, Lawrence. How would you know?
Well, that's the question. I guess that is the question of the episode, I suppose.
Yeah. How could you know it existed?
Oh, well, the chalk hits the floor, and that leaves us with a little question on the chalkboard. The word listen is written.
Well, the Doctor, he's talking to himself. He's asking this question: how would you know if evolution had created this perfect, creature, this creature that you cannot detect, you can't sense, except for moments where, for no clear reason, you find yourself talking to yourself, and then it cuts to like a wide shot, and you see him just in the TARDIS by himself and stuff. And then he says, like, what would a creature want? What would a creature like that want? What would you do? What would you do? He yells out. And then we see that he's misplaced his chalk. He drops it and picks it up. And then on the chalkboard is written, listen. An answer to the question, perhaps? Did he write that? Or was that the supposed creature?
I'd say, like, before we get too far into it, that's something that I think Stephen Moffat does really nicely in this episode. There's so many instances where you can, because it's left kind of intentionally a little bit vague in places, right? There's so many brilliant moments where you can go like, was that just the Doctor writing it down? Was that just a kid under the duvet? Like, there's like, you can feasibly see a way out, a logical solution to every kind of big moment in the episode that makes you think. Like, so I don't know. It's a nicely written script, I think. It's been a while since Moffat has kind of, I think, flexed his horror muscles or his creepy muscles, I think. So yeah, it's great to see. Anyway, big Sting time. Nice. Oh damn, bro was going for the full one. You going for the version with the middle eight?
No, I'm done.
Okay, we'll call it a day there then. Clara's off to a fancy dinner. She's on a date with Danny Pink that we've seen set up.
Actually, Lawrence, I think you'll find she's going back home. She opens the door to her apartment and walks in.
Oh, yes, there's
looking
intercuts.
Quite distressed, yes.
Yeah, this happened last time. This happened like with Danny when he was trying to do his like chatting up of Clara the first time they really spoke to one another. I like this kind of motif that it just ends with them reflecting on like what was essentially just a bad fucking go around of flirting, which is fun.
Yeah, so we finally they seem to finally get together and have their date, and it seems like it doesn't really go that well because again we're kind of cut in with the end of it of Clara getting home looking quite miserable, I guess. Yeah,
obviously things haven't quite gone to plan. I do like his little. He looks cute. He's in his nice little pink shirt. He's waving over to Clara. You get the sense that Clara's maybe running a little bit late, which is quite fun. But yeah, I don't know. He's got bad chat.
Do you get that sense?
Yeah, I think so. Because she kind of comes in like a little bit. I don't know. Like he looks a little bit like. Oh, maybe he's just nervous for the first date. But he looks a little bit downtrodden at first, like he might have been stood up and then relieved to see Clara.
No, I think you're reading too much into that.
Maybe.
Did she sit down and say sorry, I'm late?
No.
No.
I understand how you may have got checkmate there. I get it.
Yeah.
What do you think of Danny Pink's chat going in for extras or afters or desserts?
Look, I'll say this: I may not be the biggest fan of Danny Pink, all right, but he's just like me for real. No Riz, all right. No Riz just gets flustered talking to a pretty girl and then just makes a mess of everything. All right, that's how we do it, you know.
That's how we do it. That's how we out here.
That's how we out here, you know.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's got that first date energy where it is just a bit like everyone is flustered. You're right. Like they're a bit nervous. They don't really know how to talk to each other. I do like that they immediately realize like we probably shouldn't talk about work, should we? And then it's quite clear that's the only way they can kind of break the awkward tension because there's a fun little harsh cut to them just cracking on about this girl called Courtney, who they both like have a mutual like fucking hell. For.
Courtney, who has come up
Courtney?
before. Yes, that's what you said, Courtney.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I thought you were correcting me.
How bad is your memory?
I thought I might have slipped and you said like Courtney and I went, oh, like I didn't say Courtney.
No, I wasn't correcting you. I was just saying, yes, it is Courtney.
Okay.
A character who will come up again and we've discussed previously.
Courtney was the one that was like, oh, you wish you could have Danny Pink. That's that receptionist.
Secretary, yeah.
Yeah, that weird kind of like very promiscuous or suggestive receptionist that works at the school.
She was just like, Danny, you're a slut. All right. That one. Well, you'll remember.
We do remember her, yeah. I wish I could forget her, to be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, they're laughing because Clara was telling a story where Courtney was saying that apparently she said she couldn't concentrate on her face. So she couldn't concentrate on her work because Clara's face was too wide. Which is a very fun concept. And kids will say some ruthless shit like that.
Yeah.
All right. They're fucking brutal, man.
Did you ever, when in your brief teaching stint, did you ever get anything like this?
No, but I always remember this. I was going to be a drama teacher, and I once took, I think it was year 8. We was doing some like fucking some improv thing, and you like do your scene or whatever and you perform it to the rest of the group and then we give feedback. Everyone gives feedback and stuff. And I was trying to get them to get in the mindset of delivering feedback. So it's like, so the kind of rule was like, what went well, even better if, okay? So say something that went well, then say something that it could be even better if you did this. But I just remember the group like that performed, they did whatever the fuck it was, all right? And then this one kid, and this was a school in like East London as well. This one kid just sat there, kind of leaned back and went, yeah, it was dead, innit? And I just burst out laughing. And that is the funniest shit ever.
When did you proper broke and started laughing?
Proper broke, yeah. He just said, yeah, I was dead, innit? I was like, that's fucking funny, man.
That poor kid, man. The teacher is laughing at his performance.
No, the whole class laughed. Like, we all laughed and shit. It was funny.
It's fucking funny. Yeah, it was dead. So constructive. That was dead, mate.
Yeah, it was dead, innit?
Yeah, but kids will say some outrageous shit. This is that's so uncalled for. Clara's got a wide face.
Yeah, it's brutal.
That's so brutal.
Brutal. But Courtney's not the only one who thinks so. We'll come back to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that was clear that Lawrence has no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
No, but we'll come back to it.
But we'll come back to it.
I tried to play it off like I'm in the loop as well.
No, you're not.
We all are, clearly. Clara says that someday she wishes she could just kill that girl, and Danny agrees. And this sets off Clara's weird hatred of awkward jokes around soldiers and stuff that she had last time these two tried to interact. And she says, and to you, that means something.
From you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the same thing.
Yeah, right, yeah, but it's not what she says, though, is it?
Fucking hell. Outrageous behaviour from her, again.
Look, yeah, I can see why Danny would get upset at that, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty fucking out of left field and uncalled for, really.
It's one of them things, like, I don't know why, like, you obviously have experience with interacting with soldiers in real life, right? It's not that hard to just not mention the fact that they've probably killed people. Like, it's really not a difficult thing to, like, keep under wraps.
It's probably the easiest thing there is to do.
Yeah.
Really.
Like,
don't talk about it.
It's a pretty insensitive line. Like, don't cross it. It's very, like, clear why you wouldn't want to have that conversation, I guess, but not to Clara.
Anyway, he dug 23 wells, though.
Yeah. I like this. I know you have your, like you said last week, you had your beef with Danny Pink a little bit.
Not last week.
Oh, the week before, yeah. But like he's got a right to defend himself here, I think. Like, it seems pretty fair that he's like, why does everyone jump straight to the whole killing people thing? Like, I do good. Like, killing people was probably less than like 20% of what he did. Like, I did some cool stuff. I did some nice stuff and helped people. Like, I think he's got a right to defend himself here. I was quite endeared to Danny in this scene.
I think so too. Let me be clear. None of this is why I have an issue with Danny.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. This is all. I agree. I'm actually kind of on his side here. I think Clara was a little bit out of pocket for that, just coming from him for no reason. So yeah, I agree. What does he? Because the tables flip a little bit and Clara gets insulted. What does he say? Like, he says something like, "You people always assume." Yeah, you say sometimes people like you get the wrong end of the stick. And Clara says people like me. Yeah, she's like, people like me? The fuck does that mean?
What does it mean, to be honest? What are people like Clara?
Well, that's the thing. What does it mean?
She doesn't, I like Clara quite a lot, but she does come across as a little bit unlikable in this scene. Like, flipping out at him when she could have just kind of gone, no, I'm sorry, that was a weird thing. That was a weird joke for me to make. It was off color and I won't do it again. Yeah. So Clara leaves and Danny smacks his head on the table, which is quite fun. I like that. Yeah, Clara does leave. She storms out. And then, Danny's banging his head on the table. So what happens next? Well, we go back to Clara being back at her flat after storming out on Danny and going back home. And she goes into her bedroom and finds the doctor just there waiting for her. He says, "You had a day. I thought I'd better hide in the bedroom in case you brought him home," which is very funny. That feels like an 11th Doctor line that's like carried over. No, not really. I don't think. I don't know if 12 has has 12 got the reputation of being a bit clueless to sex and stuff like that as well, like Matt did. It's not that he's been a bit clueless about sex. He's just a bit awkward, isn't he? Oh, I see. Okay. I do like how he's just got the TARDIS like parked, but in the way of the thing, and he's like, "You've just got to squeeze past." Like, he's obviously had a few goes of doing it himself. Like, I've worked out the system of getting through this door. Yeah, he sat at a makeup desk as well, and he's like, "Why do you have 3 mirrors? Why don't you just turn your head?" You can't understand the like little mirror setup she has as well. And I like that. I don't know. I just think there's something cute about the way like Clara climbs onto the bed and like wants to talk about how bad her day was, but the doctor's like, "Look, I found an exciting thing. Come see my exciting thing." All right. And she's like, "No, I might get a call. I gotta stay." And it's like, "No, it's too late. You've taken off your makeup off. You're taking your makeup off. All right, you're not going out again." She's like, "No, I haven't actually." They say you've missed a bit then, or something. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you probably just missed a bit then. Come on." Yeah, it's really fun. I like their dynamic immediately. Like, she's very settled with 12 already, which is very nice to see. Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. Like, it does feel like she's just gone round to her mates and started crying on the bed about how poor her date went, and her mate's like, "I've not got time for this. The coolest shit has happened while you've been out." Like, so he kind of starts going off on her immediately about like the same way he was on us earlier with the lecture stuff, like asking her all these questions about like, are we ever truly alone? And it kind of immediately sends some warning bells off her. And she's like, "How long have you been traveling by yourself, by the way?" Just quickly. And he says perhaps he never has. A great line.
Yeah. Perhaps he's always had someone, something with him. Who knows? He shows her the chalkboard as well with the listen written on it. She's like, looks like your handwriting, mate. I think it was probably just you.
Yeah, so this is what I love. Like, the doctor's like, why would I have forgotten I wrote it? And she was like, have you met you or something? Like,
that's literally like what I would have said, because you 100% could have written it and forgot.
Yeah, like it's just one of them things where I think this is kind of what I was saying about how Stephen Moffat has a good out for like things if you want to take it more literally. Like, if you do want to take it as kind of just this irrational fear, like, then there is a logical way out of these scenarios that he's written. Like, it could have just been that the doctor wrote it down. It could have just been the duvet thing. Like, it's all there for you to put the pieces together yourself, depending on how you view like this theory that the doctor posits, I guess, which is everyone in their life at some point will have or has had the nightmare that they like wake up and then something like grabs them from under the bed.
Have you ever had that?
I haven't had a nightmare about it. I felt the fear of it. Like, I don't know anyone that hasn't like put their feet off the side of the bed and gone like, oh, or like both my feet aren't covered by the duvet, so like, oh, I hope nothing grabs it or something like that.
And where does that fear come from?
Well, I don't know, just my brain, I guess.
Makes you think.
Makes you think again. But this is what he's great at. Like, he does this with the Vashta Narada. He does this with Blink. Like, statues can move. That's an inherent thing that people have found creepy. Like, people are scared of the dark, and he puts the Vashta Narada in there and goes, yeah, maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's like an animalistic reason why you are instinctively afraid of that.
I think Peter Capaldi is really great here as well. It's just Peter Capaldi has a real intensity about him which just sells this whole thing. He the way he's talking about, like, you know, you wake up, you think you're alone, and you think there's someone in the dark, and just going through this whole speech about the dream and stuff, about getting up from the bed. It's just the intensity and richness to his voice. It just adds so much to this scene, I think. It works really well.
No, it really does. It's like quite a... I almost feel like this is a kind of perfectly written for 12, or for like kind of what little I know of 12 at this point. Like, I can't really imagine many other doctors, maybe save for 9, being able to pull this off, because it's really slow and like methodical. And I don't know, I feel like 10 and 11 have kind of too much energy. They'd want to be bouncing around the screen too much, whereas I feel like you need that intensity of an older gent, I think, to carry this.
I don't think they can pull it off and just be a little bit different, I guess.
I get that's the main thing. To have it like this, I think, is where you need them to specifically. But yeah, if they could pull it off, but it would be different. It wouldn't quite. I don't know if it would work the same. But yeah. So Clara has to put her hand in the console goo, the TARDIS goo or something.
It's not goo.
It's a bit gooey though.
It's a telepathic interface, Lawrence.
Yeah, right? I know what it is.
You never used a telepathic interface before?
No, but I've used like fucking... I don't know, what's that like slime that those little alien egg things came in when you were a kid?
So Clara fingers the TARDIS.
Basically, yeah, is what I'm getting at.
I don't know why I said TARDIS. All right, I misspoke. All right, sorry. Get off my back.
All right, sorry.
All right, good.
It's weird.
It's not that weird.
It's a bit weird.
Why is it weird?
Because it's all like, I don't know, it feels like, I don't know,
organic.
Just gooey. Yeah, well, yeah. All right, fine, you got me. All right, fine. It's gross and gooey and icky, and I don't like it.
All right, well, you be gross about it then. Me, I'll finger the TARDIS.
Oh, fuck it.
I'll be straight in there.
Straight in there?
Yeah, take me to, I don't know, my childhood or whatever. I don't know.
Get your interface out, girl.
Stop.
That's what you're like.
How did you make that more seedy? How did me saying I'll finger the TARDIS not sound bad until you joined in with that?
Because you couldn't commit to the voice. You couldn't commit to the player voice like me.
Player voice?
Yeah.
That's a player voice?
You want to? I'll take it out for another spin. Do you want to hear something else?
That's a creep voice, is what it is.
Yeah, you might be right, to be fair.
It's also the same voice you do for everything.
Yeah, it's a good voice.
It's your racist voice. It's your creep voice. It's your voice for just crew member on Doctor Who Confidential. It's just every voice you do has that same accent.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, it works.
I think it's broke. I think it needs fixing.
This is the point. So Clara does start fingering the TARDIS, and there's this. She has to think really hard about like when she experienced this dream. So the Doctor posits that theory about the dream, about getting your ankle touched at the end of the bed or whatever. Clara has to think really hard about when she's experienced that and where she was, with the hopes that the TARDIS will essentially pilot itself to the inception of that memory, so that the Doctor can have a little poke
interface
about.
Speaks for itself, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Does what it says on the tin. He also says, if anything bites, let it.
That's great, yeah.
Which is quite daunting, really.
What could that be?
The TARDIS.
Yeah, the TARDIS has got a little mouth somewhere. Just having a little poke about.
Several mouths, probably.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yes, so, yeah, he, like, stresses the importance of not getting distracted just as her phone starts to ring. Okay, Clara's phone starts to ring. And I like that the Doctor kind of just grabs it and just throws it away as well.
There's no time for that.
No time for that. He's like, no, don't get distracted. Just ignore it. He says throwing her phone away. But it is important to know that as the phone rings, we do see Danny's face flash up on the screen.
Yes.
Like back at the day, indicating that Clara was thinking about Danny for a moment. I wonder if that will be important.
Yeah, I wonder if that might have some impact somewhere. It's quite clear, like even just from the look of Clara's face, like it's quite clear that as the Doctor is stressing how important it is to focus, she's like, I fucked that up. I know I fucked that up already.
Anyway, they land. The Doctor's quite gleeful. He's like, oh, we're here. We did it. It actually worked. They walk out. He's like, West Country Children's Home, Gloucester. This is it. This must have been exactly where you had the dream. And Clara's like, never fucking been here in my life, cunt. All right? Never lived in a children's home. Never been here. He's like, nah, you just forgot. Human brains, they're so tiny and stupid. It'll be there somewhere. All right?
It's the fact that like he immediately follows up with Clara going like, theoretically, if I had fucked this up, like what are the ramifications? And he was like, it's potentially catastrophic. Like,
No. That's what he says to her. She asks about meeting herself. She asks, is it bad if I meet myself? And he's like, it's potentially catastrophic. And she says, so why did you bring me out here? And he says, I was still talking. I needed someone to nod. And then he sends her back to the TARDIS. Yeah.
I feel called out. That's just me watching Doctor Who. Like, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Not taking anything in.
Oh, look. Yeah, it's a fun little scene. I love the fact that he just doesn't. He just brushes her off immediately. Like, no, you've obviously been here. You've forgotten. You're an idiot. Shush.
You're an idiot. You're still a little idiot. All right. This is it. We're here. Anyway.
Yeah. It feels very Doctor to do something like that. Just to disregard it, like a little silly thing that gets in the way of his adventure.
Anyway, the Doctor goes off to investigate, and Clara looks up and sees a little boy in a window.
Quite creepy.
Not like creepy. It's just a little boy.
No, but like, as in, like, I don't know, there's something about the music and the sound working in tandem here that, like, the camera slowly pans up and there's one light on in the building. It is a little spooky, inherently, I think.
No, it's fine. You scared of a little boy?
I'm not scared of a little boy.
You better not be. You're about to be a dad.
Yeah, oh shit, how am I going to handle it?
You got to overcome this fear of a little boy or a little girl. Could be either. We know, but you're not saying that. But you're not saying that, so, you know.
Just keeping a little something back for me.
Yeah, just a little surprise.
So yeah, this little boy is. I found it quite funny. I realized as the episode went on that they're not playing secret with it. Like it's not really supposed to be an inherent mystery. But I did find it quite funny that the little boy waves, and Clara's like, the little boy's waving, and then it just harshly cuts to Danny Pink waving from a prior scene, and I'm like. Yeah, I get it. Like, I understand. Like, give me some credit, Stephen Moffat, please.
I don't think that's what's happening at all.
It's obviously supposed to be like, this is Danny. This is young Danny.
Yeah, this is, but I don't think it's like, it's not Stephen Moffat going, here it is in case you can't figure it out, you stupid cunt.
Oh, you think it's like a flash up for Clara kind of thing? Like,
more
do I
visual
recognize this
flair.
kid?
More a visual flair, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It felt a bit handheldy to me.
It is more for Clara than for you.
Okay.
Because it's Clara's reaction to that. It's then
I guess when she gets distracted
face.
Later on, like or earlier on, he flashes up there as well. I guess
a running motif.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgive
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you better as well.
I forgive you.
Anyway, she's like, "Oh, hello there, little boy. You look familiar. Anyway, what's your name?" And he says, "Rupert." And he's like, "Oh, fucking thank fuck for that. All right, sick. We're all right." And then he's like, "Rupert Pink." And then she's like, "Oh, fuck, we're so cooked, lads. It's so fucking over." Right?
We thought we were back, but we weren't.
thought we were so back, but no, it has never been more over.
Chat, is this it? Am I cooked?
Am I cooked, chat? She says. Anyway, he says, "Yeah, Rupert Pink is a stupid name." And she's like, "No, I know someone called Pink. It's you cunt." Anyway.
How'd you get from Rupert to Danny, by the way? I know the soldier thing, but...
Yeah, the episode literally fucking tells you how that happens, mate. Give it 5 minutes and you'll find out. All right?
But that's wild. That's like me being like, Lawrence is shit. I'm gonna go as Buzz Lightyear Heisey. Like,
is that the same thing? Is going from one name Rupert to another name Dan the same as going from Lawrence to Buzz Lightyear, a character from a movie? Is that the same thing?
Maybe I am embellishing a touch.
Fucking idiot. That's not the same thing at all. In fact, I think that's pretty normal. Going from a name like Rupert to Dan, I think that's very normal, actually.
Would you not stick with Rupert if you were named Rupert?
Probably not. Well, actually, no, I probably would. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not this kid. But I'm not this kid. So, like, why are you asking me?
Oh, he's allowed. He's allowed, I guess.
What is your beef, man? What is your beef with this kid and his name change?
I don't have a beef with him. I actually quite like this little kid, this young Danny, I guess.
Do you have a problem with people choosing their own names, Lawrence?
Oh, no, none of this.
You insist upon dead naming people, do you, Lawrence?
No, I don't.
Wow. Wow, how very telling.
I didn't say this.
Wow.
You've put me in a corner.
There we have it, folks.
Oh, what's the doctor up to? Oh, Clara's like, "What are you doing up, mate? Are you scared?" And he's like, he doesn't say anything. But obviously he's shit up. Something's wrong.
We see the doctor talking. He's inside the children's home and he's talking to the man who I guess runs the place. And he's like, "Hey, inspection." He's like, "Fucking 2 a.m. He's like, "Yeah. When better for an inspection? Probably not at 2 a.m. Probably any other time, to be honest, really."
Yeah.
You know?
When you can talk to some of the kids, I guess, like, and they're awake. Like.
Yeah. I do. I really like this scene, though. There's as they're talking, you see Clara kind of sneaking about in the background and stuff, and she makes her way upstairs. But it's a great moment where the doctor's talking to this guy and trying to you get the vibe he's asking how creepy it is here and stuff, and if it's spooky. And he's like, "Do you ever talking to yourself?" And it's like, "Yeah, all the time and stuff." And he says "What about your coffee? Do you ever put down your coffee and then look away and then suddenly it's gone and you can't remember where you put it?" And he's like, "Yeah, everyone does that." And then he looks away and then the coffee's gone and the doctor is gone, and he's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then it just cuts to the shot of 12 walking down the corridor and then just drinking the coffee.
Yeah.
As well. Fucking great shot. Just a great joke.
It's a great little gag. I like that they wait just long enough to make you think oh my God, just as the doctor said it was a ghostie or something that took his coffee. And they wait just long enough for Peter Capaldi to be walking down that corridor until he just pulls that blatant yellow coffee mug up and it's like,
and
just
then
traumatizing that man.
Yeah, and then give a not bad nod sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's great.
It's a bit fun. Yeah, it was a good laugh. It did make me chuckle. I do like that, like you said, Clara is sneaking about behind, but even sneaking past the doctor. She's the doctor's obviously told her, "Go and stay in the TARDIS. We cannot risk you bumping into your younger self here," because that's what he still thinks is going to happen. And it's interesting. I just like that she just overrules it. There's a little, I guess, another motif of in this episode of the Doctor and Clara listening to one another and kind of taking orders.
Listen. Listen.
Bro did a callback to the episode title. What's the song? What are you singing?
What I'm feeling. That Beyonce song. Listen.
I don't really like Beyonce that much.
Oh.
No, I'm allowed. It's a subjective taste, all right?
You don't like Beyonce?
It's not that I don't like Beyonce. I don't have anything against Beyonce. Whenever I've just heard her tunes, I'm like, this doesn't do a lot for me. I don't find it as amazing as other people do.
Girls who run the world.
I like girls that run the world.
Single ladies.
I like single. No, hang on. Wait, no.
So that's his wife.
No, I like my wife.
Crazy
not a
in
single
love.
lady. Crazy in love. I can get amongst crazy in love. I do like crazy in love.
Right. Well, every song I've mentioned so far, you're like, I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, but it's just overall like I wouldn't seek these out. I wouldn't put. Isn't it Drunk in Love?
There's 2 different songs.
Ah,
Yeah. Crazy in Love is the
okay.
With featuring Jay-Z. And Drunk in Love is also featuring Jay-Z, but it's a different song.
Do they complete the In Love trilogy?
I don't think they do, or I don't know.
Didn't they get divorced?
No, they're still together.
Isn't there like a thing he cheats on her like every 5 minutes or something? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know their fucking history.
Where have I seen that?
Seen what?
As in like these news reports that Jay-Z's been out cheating again, being a bad boy.
He's probably a paedophile.
Oh yeah, they didn't they both like flee the country after the Diddy stuff came out.
I don't think they fled the country. No.
I'm pretty sure they left to a place where they couldn't be arrested. I'm sure.
Pretty sure they didn't. No, I'm pretty sure they didn't. They went to a fucking Lion King premiere.
What are you eating?
The little snack.
I'm telling you this now. If this carries on more than 3 times, they're not getting cut out of the episode. People are just going to know that you're a hungry boy having your snacks.
Well, I can be a hungry boy.
I'm acknowledging it here so that if things are left in, that's just what it is. All right.
Am I not allowed to be a hungry boy?
Not on a podcast where people can hear you chew.
I'm not anything to eat.
Whose fault is that? It's yours.
Mine. I know. But does that mean I'm not allowed to have a little snack?
Of all the times you choose to try and chew something into your fucking professional studio microphone that will pick up the noises of your mouth. For fuck's sake.
Finished.
I bet I'm going to turn it up in the edit, make it really loud and uncomfortable.
Well, I finished it. So there's no need for any of it to be there, is there?
I'm keeping all that, though, so people know.
You can know.
They know the
All
goings on behind the scene. Yeah. Anyway, Clara heads into Rupert Pink's room. She pulls up a little chair and says that he should get more of these, more than just one of these. He goes, where are you going to sit when you got people round? And he's like, on the bed. But he's not sat on the bed, Nathan, because he's scared of the bed.
He's scared of what's under the bed, or what he thinks might be under the bed.
Yeah, this is a great scene.
This is a very good scene. Yeah. Basically, it ends up with Clara and Rupert getting under the bed together. They're like, "Hey, look, there's nothing there. Come on, do you know what is under the bed? Me." And then she gets under the bed and stuff. And then Rupert gets under the bed and you see, this is fine. There's nothing to be scared of. Don't be a little cunt. All right, there's fucking.
That's what she says, is it?
Yeah, she says there's nothing here. There's nobody here except us. And then was like, nah, it's fine. You know, I dream. Oh, I think there is a great line where Clara says, do you know why dreams are called dreams? And he's like, no, why? He says, because they're not real. You know, if they were, then they wouldn't need a name. Which I think is just that's a classic fucking Stephen Moffat just fucking well done. Take the day off. You know, that's good shit.
Off to the pub.
Off to the pub. You know,
he does every now and again. He does come out with something that's so why didn't anyone else think of this before you? It's ludicrous that no one has put that connection together. But, yeah. His mind works in a wonderful, magical, mysterious way sometimes.
It's great. Anyway, I think this episode does really well on the fucking the timing to things, the delivery and the moment things happen. It's so well timed out because Clara's saying say simple as that, absolutely nothing to be afraid of, and then there's something sitting on the bed. There's the weight of the bed gets pushed down as someone sat on top of it, and it's just, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's a fucking... you're absolutely right. It does always come at the right moment, but so often you can feel you know, in watching horror movies, you know when a jump scare's coming because it's cliched and it's troped out to the max. It doesn't feel like that in this. No,
it doesn't. No.
And it's also kind of a nice subversion. The whole episode we were going, what's under the bed? It's on top of the bed. It's just anywhere you're not. That's the point of it. And it's great. It's really, really well presented, I think.
So Clara's like, who else is in the room? And the little boy's like, no one, it's just me. And she's like, maybe someone must have come in. And he's like, nah, no one came in. Anyway, they get up, they slowly get up and then see just this shape, this figure, I
This
guess.
thing, yeah.
There's this thing. There's something or someone on the bed. There's clearly something there.
Yeah.
But it's just like hiding under the bedspread, and it's all we see is like just the shape of it, the outline, I guess, just like a little thing, I guess. And they're both quite scared by this. They're both like, what the fuck is going on? And then the doctor is just sat behind them reading a book, and he's like, where is he? As he's looking through this book, he's like, I can't find him. Can you find him? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're like, Wally, where's Wally?
Yeah.
And he's not even reading a Where's Wally book as well.
They say it's not in every book, and he's like, well, that's what, like 30 minutes of my time wasted or something.
No, he says that's a few years of my life I'll be needing back, he says.
Bro, that's why he's got all those books in the TARDIS. He's just trying to find Wally.
Exactly. He spent all that time looking for Wally.
That's such an alien thing. I think Stephen Moffat writes these great circumstances, like, because it's just inherently funny that the Doctor would have such a feeble understanding of Where's Wally that he would assume he's in every book. Because why would it just be a few?
Yeah, it's fine. Makes sense, I guess.
That's very fun. Do you like the look of this, like, weird duvet creature thing? The fact that you don't really see it other than a little blur?
What look?
Well, no, but like it's haunting, right? Like it's like I don't know.
Yeah, seeing the, for lack of a better phrase, just a lump on the bedspread is like, it's quite effective. Really, it's I don't know. It's like, it's almost shapeless in an inhuman way. It's like not. I don't know how to describe it really, but you don't look at that and immediately think, oh, there's like someone under there. You know?
Yeah, you can't tell if it's like a humanoid creature or like
it's a little off. There's something not quite right about it, which is, I don't know, it's just a little bit scary, I guess.
It adds to that kind of inherent irrational fear though, like, because if you show what this is, like, and I even think there was a part of me that thought, because again, I've never seen this episode before, there was a part of me that thought they were going to jump the shark on it when the duvet kind of, or it's not really a duvet. What is it, like a blanket kind of situation?
A bedspread is referred to as.
The bedspread, yeah. So like it kind of starts to slip off, but then it's just concealed in enough blur and shadow that you just can't make out what it is. Like, it looks to be some sort of head situation.
You're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead a little bit.
No, but just while we talk about the overall like look of it, like, I'm glad.
Well, I'll talk about that when we get to them.
Okay, all right, fine. Yeah. So what happens after 12 realizes Where's Wally is not in every book?
So, the Doctor talks to little Danny, or Rupert, I guess, and is asking him like if he's scared and stuff. And I like this scene as well, because this is just a great Doctor interacting with kids moment, which is always quite good. And, you know, this Doctor has so far been quite grumpy and not necessarily one with any patience or anything like that. So it's interesting to see how he'll handle this situation. But he's just really nice. He's just like, there's a really good moment of like asking him if he's scared, and he's like, well, that's good. Scared is good, actually. Scared is a superpower. And he's talking about how you can run faster and jump higher, and you can slow down time and all this sort of stuff. And saying like, yeah, there is danger in the room, and it's you because you're scared. And that's good. It's really good stuff.
I agree. Yeah, I think it takes again, I say this a fair bit about Stephen Moffat. I think it does take a special kind of writer that can like turn something that like turn being scared into an empowering thing for a child, and like almost make the child pity the threat in the room that isn't scared, because they'd be so much weaker because of that lack of scared or lack of fear.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great flipping of it. I like kind of what like you were saying. 12 isn't typically. There was part of me that was dreading 12 talking to this child, because I thought, oh god, if he's just going to be his usual impatient self, like this is going to be a jarring tonal shift from where 11 would like sit down and take the moment to spend with the child. But I like that that's still in the Doctor. Just not always for adults, but if there's a child, like, he's going to take that extra moment just to comfort the kid, because they can't think as rationally as adults that the Doctor hasn't got time to deal with.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that he's even like, he says to the kid, like, do you reckon he's scared? Talking about the thing on the bed. It's like, yeah, loser. Go on, turn your back on him. Turn your back. Just like ridiculing this thing, whatever it is, just to help the kid get through it, I guess. But yeah, so he tells them to all turn their back on whatever it is. And Clara's like, yeah, come look out the window, Rupert. Come see all the dark.
Yeah, come see all the nice dark. Yeah.
Yeah. But then the Doctor follows that up with just like a really great line as well. He's like, yeah, the deep and lovely dark. We'd never see the stars without it.
Yeah.
Just dropping poetry on you.
Stop cooking, Stephen.
He can't help it.
Stephen, it's burnt. Stop cooking.
Anyway, there are two possibilities. Possibility one, it's just one of your friends standing there and he's playing a joke on you. Possibility two, you're gay. No. Possibility two, it isn't.
I can't believe he put that on that child.
Could be. We don't know.
I mean, he could be. Well, is Danny Pink gay?
Well, we don't know. So yeah. So they're looking out of the window. And then the Doctor's like, "You on the bed. I'm talking to you now. Go in peace or whatever. We haven't seen you. We don't need to see you. If all you want to do is stay hidden, then just go. All right, just leave." And then, just the eeriness and tension that ramps up during this scene as you see the shape, the whatever it is, get up off the bed, and it's still like wearing the bedspread. It comes right up behind them.
Yeah.
You see the bedspread slowly be pulled off the thing, and like it's so well done because you see something, and you see it for like half a second, and it's blurry and out of focus, and you can't quite make out what it is. It kind of looks a little bit like a face, but again, it's blurry and out of focus, and you don't get long enough to look at it before it cuts away, and then suddenly it's just gone. You know,
it reminded me a little bit, not directly, but I don't know why I was recalled to you know that moment in Midnight when the shutters are coming down in the cockpit, and they go, "There, do you see that?" And like you don't see anything, but it's that moment of just like you trick yourself going, "Did I? But did I see something?" Like
you didn't because there's nothing in there.
I know there's nothing in there, but it does work to that idea of just like you don't know, you second guess yourself because you're not sure what you've been confronted with, and if you even have. Like it's a great playing of the concept of fear in this, and I think it's brilliantly done. The way it doesn't like step off the bed, it kind of just like gets off in a way that doesn't feel human. Like you don't see it step, you don't see it. It doesn't even like glide. It just kind of approaches closer.
Yeah,
like it's a great design where you just it doesn't remind you of anything.
When the bedspread comes off and you do see the littlest hint of a face, or facial features, I guess, and then it cuts away quite quickly. But like I've paused it and stuff and trying to take a look, and it kind of looks like a Sontaran. Kind of looks like a very out of focus, just on Sontaran's head. Kind of thing,
like a kind of a wide, meaty, potatoey head.
Yeah,
kind of
like just a wide, meaty forehead sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think it is, but
I mean, it had to have been something.
There was something there. I don't know what they used, but
and they've just finished using Strax for the last time.
Well, I don't think they really knew that at this point.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's I don't know. I think it's really interesting. And I think. Well, we'll kind of go into this, but it's interesting that we never know, really. We never know because, like, well, not to jump ahead, but like a little bit later when they're in the TARDIS, Clara's like, "So do we just save a kid from his friend or whatever?" And the Doctor's like, "Maybe, yeah, we don't actually know. It could be the case."
It's great. Giving us that logical get out is what makes it so impressive, because you are left with the answer yourself and going, well, what do I think? How do I examine fear as a concept? Like it's more interesting than the episode. We've seen it before in episodes of Doctor Who where they've tried to give it a hard answer, and we've been like, that was way more like interesting when you didn't have it. It's like in the God Complex, the hotel is infinitely more interesting than the weird kind of buffalo or whatever the fuck is going around in the halls. Do you know what I mean?
What's wrong with the buffalo thing?
Nothing's wrong with it, but like as a concept, it's just like it becomes.
I don't know. We've never really spoke about that because you wasn't on that.
Yeah, it's true actually.
So we have Lawrence. No, actually, we haven't spoke about this.
Don't you remember when you and Catherine spoke about it and I was listening and doing the washing up and was thinking, yeah, I agree with that.
I remember speaking to Catherine. I don't remember speaking to you about it.
Yeah, it's great when they all turn their back. It's great. I like that how the Doctor even, we see this a few times in the episode, the Doctor even starts getting a bit more panicky in general. Like when he sees how close it is behind Clara, he says like, do not turn around, do not turn around. And it zooms in on the kid. It zooms in on young Danny or young Rupert, right? And is like, you kind of feel like he could open his eyes. He doesn't, but you are just waiting for it where it's all going to go wrong. And thankfully it doesn't. But yeah, it's a very tense sequence.
Very much so.
Indeed.
Anyway, it's gone. So everything's safe and sound. Clara, Rupert is like, am I safe now? And the Doctor's like, no, not at all. Nobody's safe, especially not in the dark. You know, in the middle of the night, anything can get you, and you're up here all alone.
Yeah.
And Clara's like, shut the fuck up, man. She just hits him, and it's like, shut the fuck up.
I like that he's got one good child-friendly speech within him, and then he's just expunged that energy. Like Clara's like, you were good at this a second ago. What's wrong with you now?
Yeah. Luckily, Clara's good though. She gets all the little toys, the little toy soldiers, and like sets them up around the bed to protect little Rupert, little Dan. She like puts them all down to protect him, and then she says like, this one here, this is the boss, the Colonel, and he's gonna keep a special eye out for you. And then Rupert's like, oh, that one's broken. It doesn't even have a gun. And Clara says, that's why he's the boss, you know? A soldier's so brave, he doesn't need a gun. He can keep the world safe. And I think that is just like, isn't that just a great fucking thing to put it in there, you know?
It's wonderful. It's the I mean, it's not at all subtle in the sense that it cuts to the Doctor looking at Clara being like, I heard that.
Yes, you know. The soldier so brave he doesn't need a gun. It's the Doctor, of course it's the Doctor. You know? The hero without a gun. Yeah, and then they're like, what should we call him? And then Rupert just says, Dan. Dan the soldier man.
Clara's like, oh.
Oh. Okay.
Do you think
if there was any doubt, I fucked it up.
I fucked it now. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an element in the I don't know whether I'm reading too much into it or just trying to pull at straws that aren't really there, but the soldier without a gun, obviously it's chief among them against about the Doctor. But do you reckon there's something in the fact that like Danny Pink is so resistant to answering the question if he's killed people, he wants to focus more on like the good he did, like the wells that he dug?
No.
Do you not think there's anything there?
No, and because there's more to that.
Oh, I see. He dug the wells and then he put all the bodies in them or something.
I'm not gonna say too much, but there's more to why he doesn't want to talk about that. Okay.
Right, I see. Okay.
Yes.
All right, interesting.
So there you go.
Okay. Well, then fuck you, Danny.
No, fuck you, actually, Lawrence.
Oh, no. What did I do?
Yeah. You fucked up. You just like dead naming everyone. Anyway. So this is where they're like, actually, I think it's great how this scene ends when young Rupert is like, can you tell me a story so I can fall asleep? And the Doctor just goes, yeah, sure, once upon a time, and then puts his finger on his head and he just passes out and he goes, good night. That's great.
He looks at Clara and goes, that's skills.
Dad skills.
Oh, I see.
You fucking idiot.
I thought he was just flexing on him.
No, he says dad skills.
I could do with a bit of this. Come on,
yeah,
Doctor.
Well, you'll be wishing for this soon, mate.
It's hilarious. It's a fun little go around as well, considering that's what Vastra did to him in his first episode as well. Just went, fucking send you to sleep. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah, so they're on the TARDIS, and then that's when Clara said, "Is it possible we just save that kid from another kid in a bread spread?" And then they're like, "Yeah, maybe."
Yeah,
but why him though? Why did we end up with him?
Yes, that's kind of the question that's nagging on the Doctor. Like, Clara says, "Will he remember?" And the Doctor's really proud of himself. He's like, "No, I scrambled his memory. He's gonna have a big dream about being Dan the Soldier Man." And the look on Clara's face is like, "Oh fuck!
Oh no." Oh, no.
Oh, you don't know how bad you fucked it.
Yeah. And then Clara's like, look, I need a favor. This is probably against like the laws of time or some shit, but like, look, you got to take me back to this restaurant, man. All right.
So back this is just after Danny has walloped his head on the table. Clara's left, kind of, she's walked out in a huff. And now Clara obviously, they get a fun moment where they get to watch Clara. Clara watches Clara leave the restaurant.
Yes, yeah, and she's very attracted to herself.
Yeah, so it's a fun little Amy moment, I guess, for her. But it did make me laugh. That she goes, "Is that what I look like from the back?" And the doctor tries to console her and is like, "It's fine." And she's like, "No, I was thinking it was like, that's cool, right? That's good. That looked good."
It's hot. That's what it is.
You relax. Get the water spray out for you again.
All I said was hot.
Can you say that? Can you make passing comments like that? That's seedy. If I said that, it'd be seedy, you said.
No, it's seedy when it comes from you.
Why?
I don't know why. It just is. You just have an air of seediness about you. Maybe because you're married.
Yeah, I see. I do see where you're coming from, I guess.
Yeah, you're a married man. You got a kid on the way. Grow up, all right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Fucking hell, man. You got a kid on the way, all right?
Start taking stuff seriously.
And you're out here like, well, yeah, fucking hell, you know?
Get your interface out, girl.
Exactly.
So Clara goes in, kind of attempts to start fresh with Danny. Obviously, they've just had an argument in his mind. But yeah, this is a nice scene. I think they're like, you kind of reconnect with that first date energy again. They both try and go like, this is not going the way we wanted it to, is it? Let's start fresh here.
Well, yeah, she comes down. She comes in and sits down and says, "Hello, I'm Clara Oswald," like introducing herself again, kind of like, yeah, let's just start over. She says, "I'm a bit tricky sometimes, a bit like myself, and I don't like my surname," she says. And then there's a bit of back and forth, and Danny's like, "Oh, well, you know, Pink's pretty shit." And she's like, "Oh, I like Pink." She's like, "Well, you can have it." And she's like, "Oh, bold offer, Mr. Pink."
Yeah, they fall immediately back into the flirting, which is nice.
Yeah, for like 2 minutes.
Yes, until it kicks off again.
Until it all goes tits up again after Clara she cannot help just putting her foot in her mouth and just saying the wrong thing immediately. And she's like, "Mind you, though, Rupert Pink, what a fucking stupid name that is."
Yeah, what, did you used to be a nerd?
And then Danny's like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Yeah,
because like no one knows that he changed his name or whatever. And then I really love just the slow realization on Clara's face when she's like, "Oh fuck, I fucked up." Yeah. And then just the like, "How the fuck do I get out of this?" Just who said it? Someone said it, you know. Like, she's terrible at lying, but
yeah. Oh, immediately bad. Yeah, she's like,
yeah.
Just I like that Danny kind of sees it as like the world's biggest red flag. Like, he could handle all the other weird shit and like the kind of insensitive jokes that he's probably heard before and stuff. But like, yeah, she just goes like, "Oh, lol, like, mind you, Rupert," and he's like immediately like, "No, that's really weird that you know that. Like, there's no way you would have known that without being weird or something weird going on."
Yeah.
Which again, completely fair enough. He gets his coat and starts saying, "You know, I don't do weird," and she's trying to get him to stay, but something happens.
Yeah, I think it should be said while all this is going on.
Yes.
Also, someone has walked into the restaurant, presumably the doctor from Clara's point of view, wearing the orange spacesuit, and has pointed at Clara and like told her to come back to the kitchen as well. So she's like fucking fighting for her life while all this is happening, trying to deal with all of that as well.
Yeah, it's a good little misdirect. This like it does. It feels like something the doctor would do. Like, I'm not going to disturb your date. I'm just going to stand on the outside and point at you so you know that I want you to come over here when you get a minute.
Yeah, anyway, Danny leaves. He's had enough. He storms off this time instead of Clara. And then she, like, takes a minute and then heads into the kitchen after the presumably the doctor, and she's like, "I'm trying to have a date, you little cunt. Can you just for 1 minute just be normal?" or whatever she's saying to him. And she's like, "Is there any way you can make this any more surreal than it already is?" she says. And at that point, again, so well timed as an episode.
Yeah,
at that point, takes a beat, the helmet comes off, and it's not the doctor. It's not Danny Pink, but it's someone who looks like Danny Pink. It's Samuel French, all right?
Yeah, it's the same guy, but from Clara's perspective, she has no context on who this could be, so she's like...
she says Danny because it's Danny, you know. Well, it's not Danny, but like
she would safely assume that's Danny.
Yeah, anyone would safely assume that's Danny.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, this is again one of them fun moments where like as soon as Clara clocks it, you then hear the Doctor, obviously presumably tinkering with the TARDIS somewhere over there, going like, "Oh, hello," running back up, and she's like, "An answer would be fantastic. Like just a semblance of an idea of what is happening here would be great."
And I like that he's like, "What's wrong with your face? You're all eyes. Why are you all eyes?" While Clara's just like staring in shock at this guy. You know?
He goes, "Get those under control." What are you doing?
Yeah. And then he's like, right, this is, you know, someone from your future. The link was still in the telepathic circuit, so I fired it up and found this guy here, Orson Pink, apparently. And it's like, he's possibly a distant relative of yours from the future. Do you recognize him? And she's like, how the fuck would I? Okay. And he's like, yeah, okay, fair point.
He's like, do you have any pictures of her? And he's just like, what? What are you saying right now?
Probably old and really fat looking, he says.
Yeah, oh yes.
Yeah.
It's fun. There is in amongst that as well, there is a little joke about how like when his name is revealed as Orson, the Doctor's like, yeah, I know, I found it fucking hilarious as well. What a nerd.
So Orson is a time traveler.
Yes, a pioneer time traveler.
A pioneer time traveler from like 100 years in Clara's future. And he was sent from his time, and he was supposed to go like into the next week or whatever.
Yeah.
But it went wrong, and he went to like fucking the end of the universe, basically. The end of all things. And he's like stuck on a dead planet by himself with no one there, basically. Which is where the Doctor found him. Quite the fuck up, yeah. Not really any coming back from that. Which is where the Doctor found him. And then they go to like that ship capsule thing. Wherever that is.
How would you, like, if your big thing is like your NASA in 100 years or whatever, right? And you're like, check this shit out. We've done time travel. We're going to send this guy forward a week. How do you prove that? How do you, like, confirm?
Well, I guess you wait until next week.
But then what? Does he just, then he just shows up and he's like, I'm here? Like, he could have just been in a cupboard hiding for a week. Like...
Well, I don't know the technicality of it.
I'm just curious how it would work. Like, I
think there's a basic amount of trust given the NASA are not faking this shit. Like whenever we see a fucking rocket launch, we're not thinking, oh, that's done with CGI.
Well, you say that, but there is a wild there's a wild percentage of the population that still believe the moon landing was bollocks.
Yeah.
Like,
and we dismiss them as idiots.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and the same way that we would dismiss them as idiots, I guess, you know?
Yeah, true. I'm not accounting for, like, common sense existing in 100 years' time and people going, like, oh, no, you're stupid. He obviously did it. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you'll have a body cam on him or something, you know? Have a little GoPro. And they can come back, they can review the footage, and you can see him go from 1 week into next week or whatever. Maybe
they could, I don't know. I don't know how they could do it. Your way sounds like it makes more sense. So yeah, they head to the last planet in the universe, the end of all things, essentially, which is pretty fucking nuts. Have we ever? I feel like we've done this before, but maybe we haven't.
There's always an edge of the universe, an end of the universe sort of thing. Don't worry about it.
It's just, every time they need it, they can just reset it. It's fine.
We'll always go to the edge or the end of the universe. All right, don't worry about it. It's fine. All right,
it's just one of them Doctor Who things. Right, we're there. It's happening.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, so basically, yeah, he's been stuck there for 6 months. And he's obviously now quite excitedly so packing up his stuff. Like, hell yeah, I found a time traveler. He did a test drive to show me he could take me home, and then now I have to wait overnight for the TARDIS, apparently.
Well, is he excitedly packing up his things, or would you say him more desperately packing up his things?
Yeah, excitedly is the wrong word. It's probably more just like like a grateful to be alive kind of thing.
I'd say it's more get me the fuck out of here. All right, it's more I want to fucking leave this place. But then the doctor's like, yeah, we can take you back. I can take you back, no problem. Fucking no trouble at all, mate. Problem is, TARDIS needs to recharge. All right, overnight that'll do it. And Clara's like, the fuck are you talking about? The TARDIS doesn't recharge. He's like, nah, that's right, isn't it, Clara? It needs to recharge, doesn't it, Clara? He says, winking at her.
The most unsubtle duo in all of history.
Yeah.
I like the idea here that like Danny or Orson. Oh God, that's gonna be
Orson
tough.
is not Danny Lawrence, you fool.
I corrected myself.
You can't resist dead naming people.
Fuck's sake.
Even when they're different characters.
It's not even dead naming at that point. It's just a different name.
And that's how much you love dead naming, all right?
Well, I'll just find it anywhere I can.
Exactly, you force it in.
But I'd like to think if you were Orson at this point, you'd be like, you'd go like, why did you? If this has to charge, if you only had enough juice for one trip, why did you go and get someone? Like, why did you need to show someone this? Like, could you not have just taken me home in that trip?
I really like the look on Orson's face, like when he finds that out. He's just like, dude looks fucking broken, you know? The doctor's like, is that all right? Is that all right if we stay here for one night? And it's like, yeah, it's fine. And the doctor's like, it's a shame, isn't it? There's 3 people left in the universe at the end of time, and you just lied to 2 of them. And then he's like, oh, please don't make me stay here, man. Please don't make me stay here another night. It's good stuff. It is really good. And, you know, Samuel French, I think he does a good job here.
He does, to be fair. He's
shout out fingers.
Shout out fingers, indeed. Yeah, it's he's got that kind of I didn't know if it was an acting thing at first, but as Danny Pink, he's got that kind of awkward vibe to him. And I get we've only really seen him in awkward circumstances where he's basically every single scene of Danny Pink pretty much thus far has been people being like, how many people did you murder then? And he's like, please leave me alone, please. But I wasn't sure if it was like an acting thing, but playing Orson, he's totally a different, you can see that link. But you do buy that he's a completely different character, and it's hard to do that in an episode where he's, you know, in 45 minutes he's playing those 2 characters intermittently, which is quite impressive.
I think he does a really good job at differentiating them, because I really get the sense that they are different characters. Yeah, to be honest, Orson almost has like a different voice. He does something a little bit different with his voice, I think, as well, which is quite good. It almost feels like a little bit softer. Danny feels like he talks quicker and bouncier in a way. Also, almost like there's a little bit of an accent there, which I can't quite place on Orson. But yeah, there's something different. There's something going on.
Good on your fingers.
Good on your fingers. Well done, mate.
Nice job. But yeah, so they head into the TARDIS. Oh no, sorry, he doesn't want to spend another night here, which is why he's locked the door. You know, the doctor points out, you know, there is nothing on the other side of that door. Right? It's just us 3 and an empty fucking universe out there. So why is the door locked?
Yes.
And then it becomes pretty clear that he doesn't want to stay there. They head into the TARDIS. I wrote down a fun little joke here that Claren tells Orson Welles that the assembled hordes of Genghis Khan couldn't get through those doors.
Did you just say Orson Welles?
Oh, fuck, I did, didn't I? Shit!
So I'll be honest, whatever you said after Wells, gone, all right?
The worst thing was, it was my joke.
It was your stupid fucking joke, all right? Orson Welles.
Why
idiot.
did I say Orson Welles?
Because you're a fucking idiot, that's why.
Fuck's sake. It's not
anyway,
coming back.
Shout out Orson Welles. Shout out War of the Worlds.
Is that another dead name from me, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Nice.
You can't help yourself.
Oh. Anyway, I'm not going to do the joke again. Genghis Khan.
I don't think it was worth it.
No, it really weren't. Not for that.
No. Anyway, they're in the TARDIS. What's happening?
So Clara's carrying a big old bag, presumably one of Orson Welles' things. I'm just going to keep up with it now. I plan to do it. But yeah, Clara's...
I'd say just let it die if I was you.
It's fair. Yeah. Clara's carrying a big old bag in one of Orson's bags that he was packing up, and a little plastic box slips out. She's like, "Oh, what's this?" Picks it up. It's the OG Dan the Soldier Man action figure that she was just helping young Rupert to to put up in his defense. And it's a family heirloom for Orson.
Yeah, Orson says it's just a silly toy, just a family heirloom, which is supposed to bring good luck. But he's like, didn't really do a good job for me, though, did it? So, yeah.
Well, no, but then I do like his outlook on it, because he's like, but then again, like, you guys showed up. That's pretty fucking lucky.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Which is a nice kind of switch on the outlook for him. But Clara and him have this kind of conversation about how, like, hey, you should stay away from time travel, by the way. Like, you know, just an idea, just a thought. If we make it out of this, you should definitely stop time traveling. And he's like, I can't do. Runs in the family. What?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. Well, even crazier, she's like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? And then he goes on to say, probably nothing, just silly stories. One of my grandparents, well, great-grandparents, used to talk about time travel or something. And then he's handing her the little toy, the Dan the Soldier Man figure, and she's like, what is it? You asked if you knew me. And then she takes the toy saying it's a family heirloom, and he just says, yes, it is, which is seemingly saying, you're my grandmother. Or something.
Yeah, you're my great-grandmother. You and Danny Pink got married, presumably, had people that had my parents that had me.
Possibly.
Pretty crazy implication there.
Pretty crazy, yes, but nothing set in stone, you know. There's clearly related to Danny, all right?
Yes, yeah.
Somehow, okay?
Yes.
But, you know.
He might just have it all wrong.
Yeah, who knows? Look, there's deniability, all right?
Yeah. Time is in flux. Maybe other stuff happens before this point.
It does, all right?
I know one thing about Danny Pink, so yeah.
Yeah. But look. But I don't think that changes any of this, though.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I wasn't necessarily talking about that at all.
Huh. All right.
Yeah. I'm just saying, within the confines of the episode, again, like, was it a monster? Was it a kid under the bedspread? I see.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying it's not necessarily written in 100% in stone, okay? Not, you know, they didn't do a fucking DNA test on Jeremy Kyle, did they? And were like, you are the fucking, the grandmother, or whatever, is what I'm saying.
You took him time traveling, admit it!
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, there's enough plausible deniability there from Stephen Moffat there.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Good on him. So the doctor is waiting. Clara goes out and says, you know, there's no one out there. They're alone. And the doctor's way of viewing it is like, if they're alone, being completely alone is one way of looking at it. The doctor's way of looking at it is that's a fuck ton of ghosts hanging around here, basically.
Yeah.
Which is, great. I really, really like this. He's like, even the fact that they're in the TARDIS and he's outside of it, like, this is ingrained in him. Like, he cannot let this mystery go. And there's, you know, obviously we find out towards the end of the episode, there's a reason why he's so obsessed with this one specific thing he can't crack. But it's like telling the most obsessive man on the planet, here's an answer you can never find out. And all he's obviously going to want to do from that point is know and find out. But yeah, he's given off a great kind of intense energy with this scene, I think.
Yes. And then it kind of gets a little bit Midnight-esque, would you say?
With the knocks especially, yeah, I would definitely say.
There's like all this kind of like a banging and clanging around and stuff, and like they're like, we're the last people in the universe, so what the fuck is that? You know? And then it's like, it's maybe just the pipes. And they talk about how they always thought there was something in the pipes and stuff. And it's all quite creepy, and there is all this banging and stuff, and then there's like what is clearly knocking on the door as well. Which is all quite creepy and spooky and stuff. And then the doctor basically, he unlocks the door, but then tells Clara to get him back inside the TARDIS as he does so, because he doesn't want to hear or whatever. Yeah,
it's a great kind of scene, that moment where he's like, Clara's really not planning on leaving him there, just to like, you know, if you're in danger, I want to stay with you. And he does snap at her. And again, this is kind of what I'm getting at with the whole like, it's he's on the verge of discovering this thing that's been plaguing his mind for God knows how long. And it's almost like he doesn't want to miss it by talking to Clara. He's like, just fucking, I need to be here. You don't. Fuck off right now. Like, I don't know. Do you read it? How do you read it? Like him snapping at Clara the way he does?
I don't really read it like that.
How do you
really? I just see it as Doctor Mode protecting her, really.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
I guess so. Yeah. I do see what you mean. I think I'm coming at it from the thing of like he's been on this for a while now. And like, I don't know, because there's that line, I can't remember the specifics of it, but like Clara's like, I don't want to leave you in danger. And he's like, then you won't be traveling with me much longer because that is part of the gig, mate. Like, that is what it is. Like,
then you'll never travel with me again because that is the deal.
That's
TARDIS now, do as you're told.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. It's a great, I don't know, it's these little, there's interesting little twists like this because 12, again, is still so new. These moments, they're interesting and worth unpacking, I think, because they're new. They're brand new. We don't see 11 really snap at Clara like this pretty much ever.
No. Clara and 12 have a very different dynamic. They do have a bit of a more, argumentative nature to them.
Yeah.
They do bicker and stuff.
Which works quite nicely. What happens next?
Well, Clara's in the TARDIS and she's like looking on the monitor at what's happening, but it's starting to like cut out and stuff. And we don't really see what happens. It just cuts a little forward and we see the Doctor like holding on to like the something as like the air is sucked out of the room and stuff. The airlock seal or something was broken or some shit.
Yeah, he's kind of being blasted a little bit. Like it's a bit.
It's not being blasted. It's being sucked.
Oh, very interesting.
He's being sucked through the little hole. Anyway,
let's move on.
But Orson, not Wells, Pink, goes out to save him. He pulls him into the TARDIS. Presumably, he's got like magnetic boots or some shit, which stops him from being sucked or some shit.
Yeah, it's a bit vague, but he's able to do. Oh, I mean, I guess he's the one with experience, isn't he? Like he's the one that kind of knows.
He's wearing the spacesuit. Those spacesuits have magnetic boots, so
there you go then.
So it's fine.
Good on him. Well, he does well because he obviously gets the Doctor back inside the TARDIS.
Yes. But he's asleep. He's having a little nap.
Yeah, bless him. He's had a big day.
He's had a big day, bless him. He's having a little nap. But that doesn't stop whatever was out there because now it's banging on the TARDIS. It's like, knockety knock. Hello, it's me. Nothing.
This is what I really like. This is where the episode does start to feel quite chaotic from this point on, right? Because it's I know Clara has said the whole thing about like fucking nothing's gonna get through those doors. Nothing's gonna get through those doors. But the fact that they are like the TARDIS is doing that bell, the dong,
the cloister bell.
Yeah, and I love that bell. It's a great sound.
Yes, the cloister bell.
Yeah, it's doing the I'm in trouble. Something's happening. Alarm for them. Yeah, but it starts to feel tense. It starts to feel very, very tense.
Yes. So the Doctor, being asleep, having a little nap, is obviously unable to pilot the ship and get them away from the danger of whatever is out there. So instead, Clara fingers the TARDIS once again. Yes. She's like, I can get us out of this. I'll finger the TARDIS.
Guys, while I'm here, may as well have a quick moment to finger the TARDIS.
While I'm here, fingers. Let me finger this TARDIS.
Because that's my job.
No,
and they all start fingering the TARDIS.
All right. Again, it's more seedy when you say it for some reason.
Only because you make it more seedy. If I started saying that after every time you say something, then it would stick too. All right.
No, it's definitely more seedy. Anyway, she fingers the TARDIS. Yep. They dematerialize and off they go. And then they land a moment or so later. And they're like, oh, bloody hell. We're here. Wherever here is, let's go have a look. So Clara heads out on her own, and she's in some sort of little barn, area.
A little farmhouse. Yeah. Is it familiar? I'm not sure.
A little farmhouse barn. Was it familiar?
No, until it was obvious, if I'm honest, for me.
What do you mean until it was obvious?
When everything clicked, right? The moment where I don't know why I'm tiptoeing around.
Why are you being vague? But you just say it, dickhead.
The moment where the bloke comes in and is like, He's never going to make a good Time Lord, is he?
So it's the moment when they literally say it.
Yeah. Well, no, but not the moment where it cuts to War Doctor going back there.
No, the moment where they say Time Lord.
It wasn't obvious that it was Gallifrey to me. No, not at all.
Okay.
It was after, as soon as he
okay.
said Time Lord, I went, oh, it's the barn. It's that barn in Gallifrey.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted to know. Now you
Yeah.
can shut the fuck up. All right, so they're in a barn. Well, Clara's in a barn, and there's a little bed, and a little boy in the little bed, and she's like, Rupert, Orson, whoever the fuck you are, you all right, or whatever. But then, well, the little boy's crying. He's like, he's not having a good day of it. It's not going well for him.
No.
But then the door to the barn opens and two people come in, so Clara has to hide under the bed. Okay, and then these people are coming in like, you little cunt, what are you doing? They don't say that, but they're like,
if at any point you want to pass off to me, you can. Like,
no, it's fine. I'll do it all. I'll do the rest of the episode.
Just like that, though. I want that energy.
They're like, listen here, you little cunt.
Stop crying, you little cunt.
Stop crying, you little fucking cunt, all right? No, they're like, look, why is he sleeping out here? What are you doing? You don't have to sleep out here. You can come stay in the house with all the other boys. And like, so it's an orphan boy, much like Rupert. So maybe it's Rupert, maybe it's Orson. We're still not sure. And then like they're like, there's a bit of back and forth. They're like, I don't know. They're like, she says to the little boy, like, I'll leave the door on the latch and you can come in anytime you want.
Yeah.
But he's not saying anything. He's just having a cry. Like a little nerd.
Like a little nerd pussy bitch, yeah?
Yeah, like a little nerd pussy bitch. Anyway, they walk off. And again, everything in this episode is just so well written and so well timed. It's just so perfectly delivered when they're like, you'll never make a soldier if he keeps acting like this. And then they say, like, he's not going to be a soldier. He wants to go to the academy. I told you, like, the academy. He'll never make a Time Lord, they say.
What?
And then just the look on Clara's face, like her eyes widening as that, like, beat drops and you just realize where you are and what the fuck is going on. And it's like, holy shit, what a drop, what a moment that is.
It's so, this is why I really, really like Stephen Moffat, especially when he's on his like a magical source bullshit like this, right? When he comes in with something crazy that you're not expecting. Do you know how fucking easy and how boring it would have been to like the Citadel, to white text at the bottom, Gallifrey a long time ago. Like, I don't care about that shit. Like that, mate, honestly, I've never seen this episode of Doctor Who before today. And watching it, when he said, he'll never be a Time Lord, I went, we're on fucking Gallifrey? What the fuck?
Yeah, we are, boys.
It's fucking crazy because it's such a massive deal. Like, to the point they built up to it for the 50th anniversary, and we still didn't spend a lot of time on it. Like, it's fucking wild. It's crazy. And I like that it's limited just to this barn. You don't see outside the barn. You don't see, like, again, it has that inherent air of mystery. You don't even see the Doctor's face as a little boy, and I love that they still retain that. It's very respectful of people that do want to hold that mystery of the Doctor's upbringing quite close, I think.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Disagree?
No, I don't. What is there to hold close?
Well, like, I don't know, just this idea of, like, those people that the second you start unpacking something, the second you start peeling back layers of a mystery, they go, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, they don't want to see any growth or expansion there. Like, it manages to do something cool and introduce a new concept and show us the Doctor as a little boy in a way that we've never seen him before, but also respectfully restricts the access there to not be too showy and not be like, hello, I'm the Doctor, I'm a little boy Doctor. Like,
but I don't think there's anything here that we didn't already know, though, really.
No, but it's interesting to see it, like, because this is not a chance that we get all that often to see the Doctor in his where he came from with his Time Lord mates.
There's no Time Lord mates.
there's no mates.
That's why he's here crying alone like a little nerd.
Or
The Master's
Time
probably
Lords
in the
think I'm a
house
neek.
laughing. The Master's probably in the house laughing at him.
The Master's
Been like,
like,
look at that
you're such a
little
nerd.
Exactly. I've been looking at the untempered schism. Mate.
Yeah, you should get a sick bowl cut like this, man.
Yeah,
That's why you'll never be a Time Lord.
Exactly. I'm looking at this schism all day long, mate.
No schism.
No schism.
There's L plus no schism plus ratio.
Anyway, Yeah, Clara's realizes where she is. She realizes she's under the doctor's bed, and then like someone makes a noise. Something happens. I think maybe it's the doctor wakes up inside the TARDIS.
Yeah,
and he just immediately goes, "Sontaran's preventing the course of human history" to Orson, which is very fun. That is a line from a classic Who once the third Doctor regenerated into the fourth Doctor. That was like he came back, and that was like one of the first things he said.
Oh, like because he was in his zoomies, his post regens.
Yeah, he's in his post regens. Yeah.
That's crazy. I do like that. He immediately clocks. That's not what's going on, and Orson doesn't say a word, and he goes, "Shut up, shut up."
Yeah, he's like, "Sometimes preventing the course of human history." Wait, no, shut up. And Orson's just like, the fuck?
What's wrong with this man? I'm staying real quiet because I still need a lift.
Anyway, yeah, but so that's made the noise somehow.
Yeah.
And then like young boy doctor in his little bed has heard a noise and he's gotten up. And again, if that wasn't enough of a drop of a oh my God for you, the doctor goes to get out of bed, and Clara's the hand that reaches around his ankle. What another moment. What another drop of a moment, you know?
Again, this episode is so disarming in the sense that Clara literally got under a bed, and I went, standard fare. Nothing set off alarm bells there for me.
She's always getting under beds.
Yeah, you know? That's what she does. She spends an unusual amount of time this episode under beds.
It's true, she does.
But yeah, the second she it works with this kind of sound effects. Like they're just so clever at ramping up the tension. And then Jenna Coleman's performance as well. She grabs the ankle, and as soon as she does it, you can see everything in her eyes. It's like, I wish I didn't do that. I have fucked everything up right now.
She grabs the ankle, and it's almost like this happens. He'll never be a Time Lord. Clara grabs the ankle. You know?
I will say at this point, we do see, obviously, the Doctor's ankle. We see the slight slight leg of his pajamas. So I would invite you now to do a suit talk on the Doctor's new outfit.
I do want to do a suit talk, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm just ignoring that. But thank you for reminding me, because I love the Doctor's look in this episode. Yeah. I love his little jumper, his little star print jumper that he has. You know?
It's more playful. I like that he's experimenting with different vibes. Like, it's not as locked in as, this is my suit and this is my other suit.
Yeah. He's got like a black jumper, and it's got little dots on it to look like stars, sort of thing. I love it so much. It's a great look for him, I think.
It is a great look.
So far, this is the best look we've had for 12.
Yeah, there's not a lot of stiff competition, I don't think, but
well, no, there's only 2 different looks.
Well, yeah. It's got a fairly decent spot of taking home a medal.
Yes. But again, suit talk. Orson is wearing the orange spacesuit. It's not technically the same, because that is his spacesuit from the fucking. It's not the spacesuit, it's a orange spacesuit.
Yeah.
But always good to see it.
Always good to see it pop up. Does 12 ever get his moment in the spacesuit?
He does.
Okay, because 11 didn't, if I'm correct.
11 did, yes.
Did 11?
He did. Yeah, he wore it in Hyde. The episode with Do Gray Scott.
Oh, yes. And he goes,
yes.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot with a horrible memory.
I know.
Yes. And hey, maybe he'll be wearing that spacesuit very, very, very soon.
So next week, then, is it?
No, it's a couple of weeks to come.
Oh, okay.
Very soon.
Soon enough.
Maybe in an episode on the moon.
Oh, okay. Is that...
Yes. Don't ask me that stupid question that you always ask, all right? Because the answer is yes, and I know what you're going to ask, and you don't need to ask it, okay? And for anyone who's like, what's the question? Don't worry. It does not matter. It's just a stupid question he always asks. When he full well knows the answer, he just likes to hear it, all right? You know it is, okay? You don't need to ask me, okay?
Sometimes
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, because that's why you're laughing as well.
Sometimes I think we've been friends too long. You know all my tricks.
Yeah, exactly. I do. You don't need to ask me.
All right, I'll hold off, but when the episode comes, I will.
You can then, I guess. Well, you'll know because you'll have seen it, but you already know. All right?
I do, yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so, yeah. Fucking insane. Clara essentially put this fear in the Doctor, planted this fear, and she does everything. She does her damnedest to correct it and to try and backtrack it. But once you've done it, you've done it. Really, it's like
I wish she does a pretty good job.
She does a good job of backtracking it for sure, and being like, "I'm actually not a monster. I'm a nice lady." Actually, but it's I don't know. It's it's great. It's a great performance from Jenna Coleman. Like the grab and the realization. What do you make of this whole scene?
I think it's great. I think it's just really good. Again, the tension ramps up in such a perfect way. It's such a stupid water bottle you have.
Why do you always have a problem with my water bottles? Whatever.
Because
this is right. No, this is something I've got to tell people. Right. Every single container I've ever had for any form of liquid, Nathan has had an issue with it somehow.
That's not true. I have an issue when it's stupid.
What is stupid about a water bowl?
I don't like the lines on it.
Yeah, you can like point.
Hey, you're doing great. 7 p.m. Good job. Drink water. What is all this faux positivity bullshit?
I can promise you.
If I want to drink water, I'll fucking drink water. I don't need my bottle be like, hey, good job drinking water.
No, it keeps you on track, man. It keeps you on track, right?
Oh, does it? And you stick to that. You're like, 2 p.m., better have another sip of my water bottle.
I don't stick to it, but I do notice that if I haven't drunk a lot and it's got to like 11 a.m. and it's still at like 8 a.m. or whatever, I'll go, I better have a bit of a hearty swig right now. Like
I just drink water, you know? I don't need my bottle to tell me when to drink water.
I don't need it to. I just think it's a good, because when I used to work in pubs all the time, I used to drink water almost non-stop, right? Like it just used to be like, I always just had a nice pint of ice cold water on the bar. And when I stopped working in pubs, I drank less water. And I felt so much worse because of it. And now I drink water all the time because of my nice bottle.
Okay.
I like it's encouraging. Get started. Remember your goal. Keep chugging. Don't give up. Almost there. You did it. And then the best part is refill. And we get to go again.
See, that makes me want to drink water less. All right. I look at that and I want to pour myself a Coke. All right.
Fuck you, bottle.
Yeah.
Do what I want.
Don't fucking tell me what to do. I'll drink whatever the fuck I want. All right. You fucking prick.
Yeah, I can see that argument. I can see why you would say that. Yeah.
And I don't yell at you for everything. It's just the reason you got this bottle. Well, you told me this anyway. The reason you got this is because I bullied you so hard. Because before this, you was drinking water constantly, I might add, out of a fucking whiskey tumbler. And it used to piss me off every time I saw it because I was like, why are you drinking water out of a whiskey glass, out of a whiskey tumbler?
I like a wide base glass. And yes, I'll use it for whiskey. But the chances I'm drinking, how much water versus how much whiskey I drink on a monthly basis, it's almost not worth comparing.
Just use a fucking normal glass, mate.
I don't like them. I like a wide base one. I like a tumbler.
Just get a fucking pint glass. It's like sitting there with a fucking martini glass and just water.
It's a different kind of glass, and you know it is. One is passable in society. The other one is obviously just a cocktail.
One is passable for a fucking glass of whiskey or an alcoholic beverage of some kind. You know.
Oh. You've become more fussy.
Water.
I remember the days you were crushing whatever the fuck warm Budweiser in a fucking dirty red cup at uni.
Yeah, look, at uni, I was a heathen. I'd drink fucking wine out of a fucking dirty coffee mug, mate. You know? Well, many times I drank whatever concoction had ended up in the King's Cup in some fucking unwashed 2-week-old cup from the sink, you know?
Oh, the King's Cup, God.
We've all done it.
Don't take me back. What a dark time.
A dark time indeed.
Anyway, what's going on in Doctor Who?
I don't know, man. Where do we end up? Before you started freaking out.
Before I had a sip of water.
Before you had a little fit over there.
So Clara heads back, or she speaks to the little boy, but we get that kind of in and amongst an episode wrap-up montage, so.
Yes, we get that a little bit later. But yeah she goes back into the TARDIS and is like, what if, there was never actually anything there? What if the big bad Time Lord doesn't want to admit that he's just a little bit afraid of the dark? She says.
She reads him dirty, and he's like, "Oh shit, you might be
right."
Does.
She does him a read.
Yeah. I do like this though. It's a testament to their relationship. The whole Clara's like, do not go outside. Never check where we landed. Promise me you will never check. And as it cuts to the wide, the TARDIS does start to dematerialize. It's obvious that he listened to her.
He does, yeah.
And that's like a fucking major step for their relationship.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. She says, just take off, don't ask any questions. And he's like, I don't take orders, Clara. And then a bit of a callback, she says, do as you're told, which he told her earlier.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. But that's when like the TARDIS dematerializes, and that's when we like cut back to Clara talking to little boy the Doctor.
Little boy the Doctor.
Little the Doctor boy.
The nurse.
I don't know what to call him. I guess this is technically the first Doctor. This is technically a multi-Doctor story.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Technically, 3 versions of the Doctor appear in this episode. Technically.
What's the third?
The War Doctor.
Oh, he just shows up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Technically,
yeah,
3 versions of the Doctor appear in this episode. You know,
you skate that by on a technicality, but yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, go see.
So what's the monologue? I'm sure do you have it written or do you have it to read?
Yeah, I do have it. It's this is just a dream, but very I'm not going to do the whole delivery thing, but this is just a dream, but very clever people can hear dreams, so please just listen. I know you're afraid, but being afraid is all right, because didn't anybody ever tell you fear is a superpower? Fear can make you faster and cleverer and stronger, and one day you're going to come back to this barn. That's when we see the War Doctor.
Yeah.
And on that day, you're going to be very afraid indeed, but that's okay, because if you're very wise and very strong, fear doesn't have to make you cruel or cowardly, which is beautiful. Fear can make you kind, which is even more beautiful. So there's dialogue in between this, and that's why I'm like...
It's the curse of the montage when you're reading the script.
Yeah. You're always going to be afraid, even if you learn to hide it. Fear is like a companion, a constant companion, always there, but that's okay. Because fear can bring us together. Fear can bring you home. I'm going to leave you something, just so you'll always remember. Fear makes companions of us all. What a beautiful little... but first of all, just a beautiful little montage. And also a beautiful little bit of dialogue as well, I think.
I think so too. And I love that it's kind of... It's cut amongst like fun little nice moments for Clara and the Doctor. That moment where she like goes to give him a hug and he's just like, no, get off.
One of my favorite moments. One of my favorite 12 Clara moments is the hug, and he's like, no, not the hug. I don't do hugging. He says as Clara just like holds onto him, which is very cute.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a great. I love the kind of you're left to infer that pretty much outright that the Doctor is able to comfort those children because of Clara's influence on him as a young boy. Those words of wisdom of fear being a superpower, like that's what an incredible thing to. It's a bit bootstrap paradoxy, like how the Doctor would have that to know because he was once told it by something he feared. And I love that idea of like he thought the biggest fear in his life at that point was terrifying, but it was actually a comforting sound. And that's his whole ethos, isn't it? Like, I don't know. It's just, it's a lovely, lovely sequence. It's kind of mind bending because you're sat there going like, how much of the Doctor is inspired by Clara because of all of this?
I really love how it relates back to the Day of the Doctor as well, and how she talks about in like one day you're gonna come back here and you're gonna be very afraid, but that's okay, because ultimately it all works out okay, and how like fear is okay because of that fear it can make you kind as well, and it's just so beautiful, and I really like how it all relates together. It does a really good job of tying those. Not necessarily loose ends, but just tying those ends together, having a bit of continuity between them.
It's like you said, it's not something that needs to be resolved or even ever touched on. It was great how it ended, but it's nice to like as the show goes on to just further develop those moments and tie Clara in. And Moffat is great at weaving people in like they've always been there. Like,
100%.
Yeah, it's great. Do you know what? I'm stupid. I was wrong to criticize Danny as well. Like this does work quite nicely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Good job.
We fucking got him. Yeah.
So that's the episode. Thoughts?
That is the episode. Yeah, it's good. I like it. We don't do what is this? We've never done
but like just like a a closing thought.
We've never done this. We've never done this.
All right. All right, fine. In that case,
I like it. It's good. All right.
I like it too. Here's this.
Weirdo of the Week!
Meow.
Weirdo.
No, I don't have to do this bit as well.
You do. You have to do it. If you press the button, you have to do it.
This is everyone's favourite section of the show where we get together to discuss all things
Do you want to
pop
talk like
culture.
a normal person? Do you want
Because I'm trying to remember it.
That's from a different podcast entirely.
I know, that's what I'm slipping into. This is everyone's favourite segment of the show where we take a chance to look back at all the weird...
Take a chance.
weird little grubby creatures that something about...
This is everyone's favourite section of the show where we get to take a chance to look back and reflect on some of the weird and wonderful and grubby little creatures who come across our screen each and every week. Essentially characters. Lawrence, who is your weirdo for this week?
So you know the man that the doctor takes his coffee and creeps him out?
The children's home man.
Yes, that man.
Yes.
It's him, right?
Why?
Because he is presumably in charge, or at least in charge of like managing the security. Hence why he asked the doctor, how'd you get in? Right?
Yes.
And the doctor says, I'm here for an inspection, right? It's 2 a.m. Right?
Yes.
This guy goes, yep, fair enough. And basically, essentially then lets a man who he doesn't know from a governing body whom he wasn't aware were coming just patrol children's bedrooms at 2 a.m, and he just goes back to living his life. Doesn't go looking for him. It's a very strange thing he just allows to happen.
We had the psychic paper. He showed his credentials.
Yeah, but follow him around. He's going into children's bedrooms. That's weird. Like, that's an enormous security breach, I think.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, I guess.
I'd say he's got a lot to answer for these kids' parents, but they're probably all dead. But, like...
do you know what a children's home is?
It's like an orphanage.
Yeah, they're not just on holiday. The kids' parents haven't just dropped them off and be like, oh, we'll pick you up in a week. It's not a fucking hotel. It's not a summer camp.
Do you not think that's weird, though? Like, that is an odd thing that he's just allowed to happen.
Yeah, but what do you mean that the kids' parents are going to have to... They don't have any parents. That's why they're all fucking here.
I said that. I said they'll have to answer to his parents, but then again, maybe they won't because they're all dead.
Yes. You're the weirdo now.
Okay, who's your weirdo?
I don't know. I don't have one. I couldn't think of one. So my weirdo is the same as yours.
No. My original one was the obvious one, which was the doctor for just traumatizing that man for no reason.
No,
but,
that's fine. That's fine.
Well, you can have it if you want. That's the one I decided not to go with because it was too weak.
It's not very good.
And you teased me because on the Discord, I've been losing all the polls for my weirdo. The caliber of my weirdos have not been up to snuff recently.
They haven't. Look, I'll be honest. I don't know. It's a good episode. It's slim pickings, all right, for weirdos. So I've not got much to choose from. I'll say, look, I'm not happy about it. I don't like it, all right? And frankly, she doesn't deserve this. But I'll say Clara for her out-of-pocket comment about Danny.
Yeah, qualifies. It is an odd thing to say.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it, all right?
Yes.
But, you know, beggars can't be choosers at the end of the day. So there we are.
Yeah, that's fair enough. All right. Nathan, it is the time where the audience get to have their say.
What?
I know. If you're new, you can write into the emails or the Discord and let us know your thoughts on the episode. We look through some of them, we read some of them out on the show, and we're going to do that now. Nathan, have we received any lovely emails?
We have indeed. This one is from Megan Hartrich, and the subject line is, all in capitals, I might add, if you don't pick me, you're a misogynistic homophobe.
Okay, that's one way to get it, I guess.
So there we go. So there we are. Hey guys, this actually is my first time writing in, and I am obsessed with the pod. Finally caught up on the episodes and was excited to write in. Doctor Who is my special interest, so I'm eating this shit up. When I was in 5th grade, I made an over 100-page slideshow breaking down each character and a plot from this show, brackets nerd. I don't know why I wasn't diagnosed sooner. I was going to say, nothing says autism like that. Okay. A while ago, you said, quotes, the majority of our audience is gay and autistic. I have never felt more called out, lol. So if you don't pick my email, you're a misogynistic homophobe who wants me to die.
Shit.
Wow,
Okay.
that escalated. Anyway, this episode scares me so bad. I was in middle school when I first watched this, and it was just kind of spooky. I'm not the biggest fan of this era, but I really love our boy Capaldi as a Doctor, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this one. Thanks, and have a great day, cunts. Smiley face. Then Megan also followed this up with another email, which was a day later, like almost 24 hours later, and it just says, "Oh yeah, and fuck you, Radio Scaro." I like that, like a day later, she had that thought to follow that up.
Are we radicalizing people against other Doctor Who podcasts?
Maybe, but I think it's all right.
Megan, if perchance, I know it's obviously very, very slim chance, if you, if you have that slideshow or that PowerPoint, please send it.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
I
That'd
have
be great.
to see that.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Thank you for writing in, Megan. Joe998 on the Discord says, this episode... Joe998.
Who?
I don't know. It's called Joe998.
Who? Do you know one of the things my dad does, which pisses me off to no end, is like... sometimes I'll be saying something, and you know when people like they can't hear, they go like, "What?" My dad doesn't do that. He just goes, "Who?" Like no matter what it is. If you're like saying something like, "Oh, I saw this thing today," but who? And like, but here's the thing: he doesn't even wait until you're finished. If like he can't hear you, if he doesn't know what you're saying, he'll let you know immediately. All right. So I could be 3 words into a sentence, and then I'd be like, "I just saw," and I'd be like, "Who?" I'll be like, "Oh God." It grinds my gears to no fucking end. Anyway, that's unrelated.
It's one of them dad things that does just irk you. Like my dad for some reason says lasagna instead of lasagna, and it drives me up the fucking wall.
That would drive me up the wall as well.
I'm like, but you're wrong. There's not room for error there. You're wrong. It's called lasagna.
Yeah, but you're wrong about a lot of things as well, though.
Yeah, but I don't go around like saying, no, the world is incorrect. It's lasagna.
The world is incorrect about a lot of stuff, but
not lasagna.
But not that one.
Come on, Keith. Joe998 on the Discord says, this episode traumatized me. Even as a 26-year-old man, my biggest fear is the idea that something might be in the dark. I also love Clara in this episode, which reminds me... yeah.
Ooh.
I've been listening to older AHP episodes, and Lawrence, you said this about Clara, and this is a direct quote, which I could not verify. I did not have the time. I did try.
I believe Joe.
Clara is not only the worst companion in Doctor Who, I think she's one of the worst characters put to screen in Doctor Who.
That does sound like the kind of hyperbolic shit you would say.
It does, and I will say, I did go back and listen to this, right? Not the whole episode, I didn't have the time to squeeze it all in, but I got about half an hour in trying to find where I'd said this.
Yeah.
At the start of the show, I said something to the effect of I didn't write the quote down. Something to the effect of how I fell out of love with the later Matt Smith era because it felt like something. It felt like the companions always became the defining thing. No companion was ever allowed to just be a person. They had to be like the key to a mystery or something like this, right? Yeah. And I just want to take a moment to say now. Chat out my ass. I haven't seen a lot of the end of this era of the show. I was just clearly echoing someone's opinion that I'd heard or read somewhere.
100%. That's 100% what you did. I have a very clear memory of you when we did one of our previous podcasts, Your Opinion Sucks. I have a very clear memory of you because it was just Peter Capaldi had just announced that he's stepping away from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I have a very clear memory of you saying, I remember being really sad when David Tennant was leaving Doctor Who, but Peter Capaldi, fuck off. No one likes you. You're shit. You said something to that effect. And I've been trying to find it, but I can't. I reckon I must have cut out the episode because I've got to the exact bit where we're talking about Doctor Who, and you just don't say it at all. So I reckon I just saved you some grace and cut it out of the episode.
The worst thing is, I think I remember saying something like that because I think I remember us having a conversation about it after, and you're like, "You're wrong. You're very wrong.
You're fucking." Not even after. I remember saying it. I remember being like, "You're a fucking idiot." Then and there.
Look. That episode was recorded in like 2020, early 2020. All right, I've grown. All right, please, I've grown.
The episode of Another Happy Pod, that episode that we're talking about, that was recorded in like 2017 or something.
So I've done a lot of growing since. I will say, it's really funny listening to us talk about Doctor Who on AHP. It's so apparent we wanted to start a Doctor Who podcast, but neither of us said it. Because we are talking about, like, that's AHP's, if you don't listen to it, right, especially back in the older days, it was a pop culture show where we just kind of generalized our thoughts on something.
That's the first time you referred to Another Happy Pod as was, and my heart just broke a little bit there.
No, it was in the older days. It isn't so much now. Now it's way more opinionated. We have, like, more discussions about our personal feelings. But back in the day, we used to summarize things quite generally, I think. And listening to it is very funny because we're getting into the nitty-gritty details of, like, the Yana reveal and, like, how that works on, like, on some level that, like, if you're not a specific fan of Doctor Who, you would never have understood that episode of the podcast. But we're just happily going away, like, going into way too much detail. It's very clear that we wanted to start Still Got Legs.
And what was that, like episode 7 or something?
Yeah, it's really early. It's not like, more than 10, yeah. Yeah,
like we didn't want to wait too long to get into that, you know?
But yeah, sorry. So Joe998 finishes out with, just curious what it was you didn't like about her. I was lying. And how you're feeling about her now. My lie was wrong. It was a dumb opinion. I really like Clara as a character. I think she's very emotionally intelligent. I think she's got great flaws that make her interesting. And I think that I am enjoying her almost need to role reversal with the Doctor, where she wants to take on a more doctory role in their dynamic with both the Doctors she interacts with. I like her a lot. I think she's a brilliant character, and I'm very excited to see what a lot of people refer to as, like, her main impressive stint on the show.
I wonder how I reacted to that, because if you said that now, I would punch you in the face.
That's what was wild listening to it, because this is what I mean. We're so more opinionated now.
I would stab you. Yeah, I think I'd actually stab you.
Yeah, you let that slide, and I was like listening to it like, this is strange. Were we all less cross back in the day?
Maybe I've just grown more jaded and angry over time.
It was very strange listening to you say, as a 26-year-old man, I was like, oh, fuck, God. I'm older than that now.
A young child.
Have we got any other emails?
We do. This one is from Julian Siri, who at first sent this email in, and the entire body of the email was the subject line. Like they put the whole email in the subject line, and then they send it again normally. So thank you for that.
How'd you fuck that up?
I don't know, but they did. But well done. Thank you for realizing your mistake and fixing it.
Yeah.
Hello, guys. I've been waiting a long time for the pod to finally reach my favorite Doctor, though I always had mixed feelings for this episode. It did show the potential of storytelling with this particular Doctor, an episode just dedicated to the Doctor following a hypothesis he made. 9 was too traumatized to care, 10 would just not see the point in it, and 11 didn't have the attention span to follow through with it. However, this episode made me realize why Clara is, and probably always will be, my least favorite companion. Her traveling back in time to the Doctor's childhood and giving him a speech that indirectly informs a lot of the person he will become is just another one of Moffat's attempts to tell us that she should be considered the most important companion in all of Doctor Who. In the name of the Doctor, she travels through time, saves every regeneration of the Doctor, and helps him pick up his TARDIS. In the Day of the Doctor, she's the one that inspires the Doctor not to destroy Gallifrey. That's not a stretch. That's literally a line of 12 in the Zygon version. And I'm sure there's a deleted scene somewhere of her traveling back in time and giving the Fourth Doctor his first scarf. Don't know if that's true. It's not that I care about the canon. Why the hell would I be watching Doctor Who if that was the case? I just feel the hand of the author every time Moffat does retcon to tell us how secretly important she has been to Doctor Who all this time. He never did the same thing for Amy or Clara. Amy or Bill. Don't get me wrong, Clara's character is great, the performance is amazing, and her chemistry with Capaldi is great, though I prefer the one he has with Bill. I just don't like the way Moffat tries to make me feel about her. I felt like he wanted to create the objectively more important companion using time travel. Anyhow, can't wait to hear how I am wrong for you guys. Keep up the great work. It's my favorite podcast, which makes sense since it's the only one in the world. That is true, and yes, it is also true you're wrong. Fuck you.
Everyone needs to understand you're never going to get a rational answer from Nathan when you start bringing up Clara like this, okay?
Yeah.
I just want to, on that quickly, say, like, I think there's a pretty big difference between making Clara, like, the definitive companion and making Clara the most important person ever, and also, like, I think it's far more likely that Stephen Moffat was just trying to weave her into this more lore-focused storytelling approach to Doctor Who to try and make Clara more interweaved in the history of the Doctor so that they can have a more interesting dynamic together in the current day.
I think so too, and I think it's also, as well, it's also a little bit of the era. This is around about the time of the 50th anniversary when the show was doing quite a lot of like looking back and a lot of like nostalgia and like a lot of like weaving into these classic elements and stuff. So I think naturally it's also going to incorporate some of that as well, just as a byproduct of where they are in terms of storytelling. Look, I can see how you get to that and you think that. If Clara kind of like rubs you the wrong way, then yeah, I'm sure that would like piss you off, but it just doesn't for me. I'm fine with it. It's a skill issue, I guess. You know?
It's a skill issue. Clara, that you're absolutely right in the sense that Clara is present for her tenure as a companion is over the 50th anniversary and after through a regeneration. Again, something we've said a few times we haven't seen since season 1 to 2, right? Like naturally, unfortunately, she's just melded into the structure of these epic grand Doctor Who stories, and for her to feel relevant in those roles, she has to be present in a grand and relevant way. Like, and
also it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting to do this stuff with the character as well.
Like I don't see a difference between like Clara having a conversation that is important and like Rose absorbing the heart of the time vortex and whatever and becoming Bad Wolf. Like she became very important there for a fraction of a second. Like. And I don't think people ever bring that up with like, why is she written to be this kind of like so important, blah, blah, blah. Like, because she's a character in the show. She's one of the main characters in the show.
Main characters in shows are written to be important. It'd be pretty boring if they just stood passively by the entire time and it was like, and I'm here too.
That's what Classic gets a lot of stick for. I can't comment on it because I haven't seen any Classic, but like Classic gets a lot of stick for characters going around being like, what's happening, Doctor? And Doctor's like, this is happening. And they're like, oh. And they're not relevant, they're just there.
Bro hasn't seen The Web of Fear.
I haven't, no.
Anyway, there we go. Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, thank you. Even though Nathan mostly insulted you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Pine Tree says, okay.
That's it for emails, by the way. Only 2 this week.
Okay.
There was more, but fuck you.
Pine Tree says, okay, so you really have to listen to me on this one. When the Doctor is sitting on the top of the TARDIS, does he have the lantern up his arse? Because he is sat... I love our fucking audience so much. Because he is sitting in the dead centre, so it has to be somewhere, brackets, could the Doctor be bigger on the inside? Signed off, Amy, brackets, not Pond.
Amy, you've done it again. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one, to be honest with you.
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe because he's quite nimble and skinny. I feel like maybe he's just perched on top of it. Like he's got the core strength to not let it slide up his ass.
I don't know if the visually the episode suggests that would be the case, but I don't know.
They don't show him get off it.
They don't.
So there's that.
It doesn't look like he sat on top of it. So I don't know.
I fucking love the people that write into this show. I'll read out a couple more because we're short on emails. Well, not short. You're just not reading more. BT Storm says this episode is gangster with the 100 emoji and like the shouting emoji, which I quite enjoy. I thought that the idea of a monster that's not really a monster but could be a monster, but is it a monster really? Quite cool. But honestly, if that thing was on my bed. If that thing on the bed was one of Danny's housemates, then they're my weirdo for this week. Yeah, it's pretty fair. It's a commitment to the bit, that is. That's an epic prank in the children's home.
That is an epic prank. Nothing says fun prank like traumatizing a child.
Yeah, and then an old man and another woman that just walks into the room as well. Like, oh shit, I'm getting a whole audience for this joke.
Exactly. That's good stuff.
And the last one I'll read out is from SWJN5. That's someone's postcode.
Probably not. No.
Okay. Okay, so from what I remember, this episode is about the Doctor having a fear and curiosity about the unknown, yet at the end, even after the whole creature under the blanket thing, Clara's like, nah, mate, it's nothing. You're just a baby who's scared of the dark. Like, come on, you witnessed the creature. Surely the fact that you grabbed the Doctor's foot as a child, traumatizing him forever, doesn't take away from the facts and evidence they've witnessed. Although Clara and 12 are the best, so I don't care, give me more.
What are the facts and evidence that we witness, SWJ and 12? A little lump on the bedspread?
Could be anything.
Did you see the creature? Did you see anything? What are the facts and evidence? Present those to me, okay?
Yeah, there's a hole in this, in that they do say, that could have just been a kid, and the Doctor's like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's the point. There's plausible deniability all throughout.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Could be anything. Could be the wind.
Come on. Must have been the wind. Must have been my imagination.
Have been the wind. Yeah.
Anyway,
So
thank you everyone for writing in. That was very, very kind of you. And also thank you for listening to the show. If you have enjoyed, then you can give us a little 5-star review. That'd be so cool. Bit of news on socials, by the way. You can follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok. We're sacking off Twitter. Twitter's dead.
Done with it. Twitter is dead. I killed it. I'm done using it.
Yeah. It's yucky platform, and we don't fancy, you know, advertising through a platform that is doing those kinds of things. You know the things.
Yeah, that's right. So follow us on Zuckerberg's Instagram.
Yeah, a much better bloke, apparently.
No, he is crook too. But he's not doing a Nazi, so...
Yeah,
so there's
that. There's that one glimmer of redemption for him there.
Well...
Not even.
Not great otherwise, but, you know...
Yeah.
They're all cunts, you know?
They are, but unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
Crook billionaires who all deserve to be thrown into the fucking incinerator.
I like the CEO of TikTok responding to the Senate hearings or whatever, and they're like, "Are you a Chinese communist?" And he's like, "No, I'm from Singapore, man."
Do you like how he's got Trump's dick in his mouth?
Oh yeah, I forgot he was doing that this week as well. Oh okay, no, I don't like him anymore.
All right.
He sucks too. They all suck. Why do they all suck?
They all suck. Don't for a moment be like, I like this billionaire. This one seems... They're all fucking cunts, all right?
Yeah.
Kill them all.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to share your thoughts on each episode, the link to join the Discourse is now in the Discourse. If you want to share your thoughts on each episode, the link to join the Discord is in the show notes or the emails. You can email us over at stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com. That would be cool. Big thank you time. Thank you to Nina for managing the short form content, as well as marshalling the Discord server alongside Maylena and, of course, the main man, Pierce. Thank you very, very much, all of you. If you're so inclined, we have a Ko-Fi link. If you do want to help us out with the running of both of the shows, there is zero pressure to do so. Everyone can enjoy the episodes for free forever. And speaking of both shows...
We gotta hurry up and get that Patreon on the go.
Yeah, we do.
We should get that launched.
We'll talk about it. We can do. I got some ideas.
You got some ideas?
I do have some ideas. Yeah, we can talk about it after the show.
You don't usually have ideas.
I've thought about it a little bit.
You usually have no ideas.
It's just something every now and again I've just sat with it and gone, that'd be fun.
Everyone, Lawrence has an idea. What a revelation.
Hey, come on.
Check this out soon enough.
Nathan, for the time being, we have another podcast, don't we?
All right. Don't be a dick about it.
No, I'm just saying, I'm getting people used to it, all right?
Don't be a dick about it. Yes, there are 5 more episodes of Another Happy Pod left, our pop culture show where every week where some weeks, where for the next 5 weeks, we take a look at something going on in that realm. Look, it's all movies for the remaining 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So this coming week we'll be looking at a comedy we've always enjoyed and have talked about quite a lot and sung quite a lot.
Weirdly formed a large basis of our friendship.
Did actually, yeah. Pop star Never Stop, Never Stopping. So if you want to watch that, we'll be chatting about that this coming Friday. So come join us for a fun time.
Yeah, could be a quite sentimental episode. There's a lot of stuff in there that is formative for us, I think.
We'll see.
We will indeed. Thank you very much for listening. We will see you next Monday at 10 a.m. Stay beautiful. Stay interested in Doctor Who. Nathan, what should they stay?
They should stay sexually safe. Wrap it up.
Yep.
The show and the penis.
For fuck's sake.
Bye.